All eyes on David Johnson, who's hoping to add to his 15 touchdowns this season. Drew Brees, the league's leader in passing yards, is hoping for a bounce-back performance. From University of Phoenix Stadium, where the weather outside is delightful and the roof is open, it's the NFL on Fox. The 5-8 Saints against the Cardinals, who have a record of 5-7-1. Along with Super Bowl champ Rondé Barber, I'm Chris Myers, and nice to have you watching along with us as the day began. Both of these teams had the slimmest of playoff hopes. The record indicates the disappointment they're grappling with. Yet an intriguing matchup, Rondé, of the top defense in the NFL, the Cardinals against the top-ranked offense, the Saints, and the twist is that Drew Brees in the last 2 games has not thrown a touchdown pass.
Well, I think, Chris, that the Saints are going to try to come out today and prove that the last 2 weeks were in fact an anomaly on what has been a really good season for Drew Brees and that offense. And you're going against statistically the #1 defense in football, but helping them is the return of Michael Thomas to the lineup and Patrick Peterson, the Cardinals' best cover corner. If that matchup materializes, I think we're in for a good one today.
Patrick Peterson, who played his college ball at LSU. We mentioned David Johnson, whether he's running or catching. Larry Fitzgerald today playing in his 200th career game.
Yeah, and if you're looking for a pro's pro in a game where there's some disappointment on his team, you don't have to look any farther than Larry Fitzgerald. 200 straight games is amazing. He does so much for this offense. This team, I think, will go through David Johnson as it always does, but Carson Palmer has to protect the football today. This Saints defense is surging late in the year, and they're giving them a chance to stay in some football games.
2 head coaches who are aggressive play callers. Each of these quarterbacks average 40 pass attempts or more per game, so it should be wild. Just a week from Christmas and festive here in Glendale. It's Santa's big scene. It's also always Larry Fitzgerald's scene. He's in a giving mood, and the Cardinals hope he's in a receiving mood. The kickoff coming up.
That 1,000 club, or to set the NFL record for the most consecutive games with at least 100 yards from scrimmage. He says he's playing to repay his team for putting himself in this position. He says with great success comes great responsibility, and he feels like it's on his shoulders to uplift this team during its difficult time, Chris.
Thank you very much. These 2 teams, the Cardinals, of course, the defending NFC West champs. The Saints, actually Drew Brees, they're still mathematically in it, as he talked about this week, coming off a couple of rough games. The Saints need to win their remaining 3 games and hope that Atlanta and Tampa Bay would both lose their remaining 3 games, and then Sean Payton's team would have a shot winning the NFC South division. But struggling through another season, both of these head coaches, you just expected more coming into the year from these teams.
A lot more, especially from the Arizona Cardinals in my book. I thought this was a team that was going to waltz their way back into the playoffs and give themselves a chance. But as it stands, we're here in week 15, and I think we're still going to have a good game here, Chris.
And Britton Golden from his own end zone up across the 22-yard line, where the Arizona offense will begin with Carson Palmer, who comes in starting 13 of the 14 games this season. Remember, missed week 5 with a concussion against the 49ers. He will turn 37 years old on December the 27th. And with this offense around him, no Michael Floyd. His DUI this week, then released, then signed by the Patriots. So a different assortment of receivers to go to against this Saints defense.
Well, and also dealing with the shuffle of the offensive line. John Wetzel goes to left tackle, and you got many new guys in there. Tyler Boggs gets his first start, so we'll see if they're able to stand up today and help their quarterback, who's been taking a beating all season long.
Quick pass for Fitzgerald, incomplete. Taylor Boggs starting at right guard with DJ Humphries, the left tackle, in concussion protocol. Saints defense gets Craig Robertson back, the team's leading tackler. He was out last week. Stephen Anthony is inactive with a knee injury, so is Delvin Breaux out with a left shoulder.
And Von Bell, to me, taking that role of Kenny Vaccaro, going to be that kind of strong safety down in the box kind of player. And they got that 3 safety look. Keep an eye on him all day today. I think he's a really good football player.
Kerwin Bell in at running back. He ran the Wildcat last week. A flag flies, and the ball is rolling towards the 24-yard line. There's a scramble for it. Looks like Williams got the ball back.
Offside, number 48 defense, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
referencing Von Bell, the rookie from Ohio State you just talked about, but the handoff between Carson Palmer and Kerwin Williams, similar to last week where the turnovers were an issue in the bad weather in Miami.
Yeah, that was the crux of their problems last week. Obviously the weather is going to be perfect here in Arizona, but the turnover potential still exists here, and some sloppy play to start this game.
Palmer floats one for J.J. Nelson, and it's incomplete. Nelson, the last 3 times he's touched the football, he scored touchdowns.
Well, he's got a big opportunity today with Michael Floyd no longer being here. Him and John Brown, these two guys last year were such a big part of this offense, but I look at these guys just numbers-wise. Nobody on this team at receiver has more than 15 yards per catch, and that was such a big reason this team was successful last year. Just hasn't materialized so far this year, and the season's almost over. So
after this, just 2 games to play. Kerwin Williams in the backfield on 3rd and 5. Palmer open, and catch made for a first down around the 36-yard line as Andre Ellington, the backup to David Johnson, makes the catch.
And I think as this season goes on here towards these last 3 games, we'll see more and more of that of Andre Ellington. And we've had these guys a number of times, and Bruce Arians has told us they're trying to find ways to get him more involved. And that play, he was lined up as a wide receiver, picks up the first down.
And decent protection with that makeshift offensive line for Palmer, who said, I'm not dreading it as much as you guys are, meaning the media concerned about it, at least coming into this game. A pickup of 9 on first down. David Johnson fights to get across the 40-yard line. Comes in with 11 rushing touchdowns, 4 receiving touchdowns. He's already a 1,000-yard rusher and over 1,800 scrimmage yards.
It's just so many positives when you talk about David Johnson. I'm just excited for his future. If you're an Arizona Cardinal fan, it can't get any better than to have a back like this, and coming into his prime, such a humble guy. Look for great things from him.
Just celebrated his 25th birthday. Carson Palmer to Larry Fitzgerald, who has it at midfield. And in his 200th year, his 200th career game, 92 catches for this season for Larry, and the consecutive string of catches in games goes all the way back to his rookie year.
Well, there's no question that Larry Fitzgerald gets involved in the game early. He always does, and Carson Palmer knows he can trust him. I don't know that in their first 15 that 2 or 3 balls aren't designated to go to Larry just to keep that thing going.
Got a wildcat. Direct snap with Palmer at bottom of the screen as your receiver. And it is Kerwin Williams, who ran this 3 times last week. And there he goes! Kerwin Williams! It's going to be a Cardinal touchdown!
Well, I'm pretty sure the New Orleans Saints saw this last week. I'm not sure how they're not prepared. The only difference is last week he ran it 3 times to the other side, and he goes in without his shoe, Chris. What an amazing run by Kerwin Williams.
49-yard dash, and for Kerwin Williams, reaching the end zone to give Arizona the early lead.
Well, it's this. Just going to fake to David Johnson. He's keeping these. He's not even giving David Johnson a chance. This is his one opportunity to touch the football. Watch this. Shoe comes off. Doesn't matter. I'm going to go 60 for a touchdown.
The extra point, always an adventure with these 2 teams. Matt Weil, the new punter, the holder, as Catanzaro delivers. Fitzgerald blocking and allowing the first touchdown of the season for Kerwin Williams, and the 2nd of his career, and the Cardinals strike first.
Christmas Day, exclusively on NFL Network.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
Well, the Cardinals get on the board early, unlike last week on the road. They've been a much better team at home, but they marched 78 yards. And the Wildcat Kerwin Williams 49-yard run gives Arizona the lead. Catanzaro kicking off. And Tommy Lee Lewis downs it. So from the 25-yard line, Drew Brees will take over. He leads the NFL in passing yards. But the last couple of weeks, 6 interceptions and no touchdowns. First time in his career. He's done that in back-to-back games. That combo, first time since 2009 that he hasn't had touchdowns in back-to-back games, and actually gone 9 quarters without throwing a touchdown. That's the second longest streak of his career. But Brees said this week, Rondé, I've thrown enough interceptions. I know how to fix it.
Ultimate competitor, Drew Brees. He'll be back. We get a chance to see it today. Looking forward to his redemption game here.
And here he comes out throwing. From the pocket, protection good, but the ball tipped away. Trying to go to Brandon Coleman. Kevin Minter making the defensive play with the deflection. Left tackle Teron Armstrong remains out. He went on injured reserve this week. So like the Cardinals, the Saints have had to shuffle their offensive line a little bit. And Mark Ingram comes in averaging over 5 yards a carry, over nearly 800 rushing yards.
The matchup today is Andrews Pete, 75, playing left tackle full time against Chandler Jones on that left side. Keep an eye on it all day.
Mark Ingram with a first down up to the 39-yard line. And ball was juggled a little bit, and we've got a Cardinal down. Tony Jefferson already thin in the secondary with some injuries off of last week.
Hey, great job. 4 times, obviously they're doing something right.
Absolutely.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light. Make the right call. Drink responsibly.
Tony Jefferson being helped on the sideline. DJ Swearinger and Tyrann Mathieu, who's back for this week, the safeties. After a 14-yard run from Ingram, Brees throwing, Kobe Fleener the catch, knocked down right away. Calais Campbell, the longest tenured defensive player for the Cardinals up front. Deone Bucannon, the team's leading tackler, put on injured reserve as Jefferson comes back in. How do you think the Saints and Brees will attack no Bucannon in this game?
Well, I think Deone Bucannon is one of the more active linebackers in football. It'll be interesting to see how Seal Moore holds up in there in his spot.
Second down 6. It's Ingram. Gets up to the 48 of New Orleans.
Well, you talk about the New Orleans Saints offense, their struggles the past couple of weeks, and to me it's been their lack of a running game. I know Mark Ingram was nicked up with the toe and the knee injuries, but when they get out of balance, and they've been severely out of balance the past 2 weeks, it puts way too much pressure on the quarterback. No matter how good he's playing, they still struggle.
They lead the NFL in third down efficiency, just over 48%. It's 3rd and 1. The pitch to Ingram, and he gets the first down inside the Cardinal 47-yard line. Part of the problems, too, the last couple of weeks for the Saints, when they had 13 penalties in the game. The loss against the Buccaneers, we mentioned the interceptions by Drew Brees and drop passes as well.
Well, you mentioned the penalties. The penalties is the biggest thing, because Sean Payton was telling us you get so far behind the sticks, 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10, off schedule somewhat, you can't run the football, and those penalties are killers. See if they can limit them today.
Mark Ingram knocked down right away. The Cardinal defense ready as Tony Jefferson came up to make the tackle. Let's get a game break. So had a Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Chris. What a game here. The Bears battled back from down 17 in the 4th, but don't give Aaron Rodgers the ball, because this is a 60-yard pass to Jordy Nelson in field goal range. And Mason Crosby does the rest. Packers win 30-27 and now in 2nd place in the NFC North. Chris?
Thanks, Carissa. With the Lions losing at the Giants. Dramatic win for the Packers. And Brees throwing. Open is Brandon Cooks. Right at the sticks. Inside the 37-yard line of Arizona. Well, Drew Brees, when he said, I know how to fix it, I'm going to still play my game, be aggressive, but I know what not to do. And obviously the weaker throw, the gamble throw, the turnover.
Well, in crucial situations in the past couple of weeks, he hasn't been able to make that throw. Now, efficiently, Drew Brees was really bad last week. I mean, 61% passing. When he comes in 71%, yeah, it sounds like he's down. But I trust this guy to get back on track today.
Ex-Cardinal Tim Hightower with his first carry of this game gets near another New Orleans first down. Drafted by Arizona out of Richmond. still has great memories and is grateful for his career opportunity beginning with the Cardinals.
You're going to get a great block right here by John Phillips to seal this edge. See Chandler Jones in another one by 83, Willie Snead on Tony Jefferson, and just gives Tim Hightower lots of room to get that 9 yards on first down.
False start, number 65, offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
And in this building, the last 10 years, opposing teams have had more false starts than in any other stadium. That's now 147 since 2006.
You would think that places like Seattle would lead here, and that's at least the narrative across the league, but it's just as tough to play in here. Got great crowd noise in here when this defense is on the field.
So instead of a first down, now it's 2nd and 6 after the penalty. Hightower knocked down at the 30. It'll bring up 3rd and a few. Hightower did mention this week that he had a lot of people to talk to from this original team, but he'll do it after the game. He said there's a little bit of show you something in this game for me.
Well, for sure. Great story, Tim Hightower. Obviously, we know about it with the injury. Started here in Arizona, having a great year as a complimentary player to Mark Ingram in his backfield.
3rd down and 3. The pitch to Mark Ingram, who's got the first down. Ingram inside the 20 of Arizona. And that's part of the running game that Sean Payton said sometimes you're just going to have to tough out the yards.
Well, you have to have it. You absolutely have to be able to do this. This is the second time today on 3rd and short where you would think that they would throw the football if you're believing in Drew Brees, but watch Willie Snead right here. The block on Chandler Jones again springs Mark Ingram, picks up the first down and some additional yardage. Good play by the New Orleans Saints.
Only 14 carries in the last couple of weeks combined. He's already carried 5 times today. Cadet is in. Brees is going to be sacked at the 29 by Calais Campbell. His 5th sack of the season.
Well, it's Calais Campbell working on Senio Calamente. That matchup right there, and he just whips him. This dude is a monster inside. The swim move, he can win with power. Obviously, he can win with quickness. That's a big yardage loss for the New Orleans Saints here. Make it 2nd and, wow, 15 or 16. And this is what I was talking about the Saints. Sacks, penalties, they get behind the sticks. This is where they struggle a little bit.
Hightower in after a loss of 8, and Hightower gets down to around the 21-yard line. Kevin Minter making the play. Have to get down to the 10 or inside the 10 to get a first down, and now 3rd down for the Saints.
Well, these are the situations that the Saints wanted to avoid. 3rd and long against the Arizona Cardinals defense, and you and I know, Chris, that James Beckter, defensive coordinator, is going to try to dial up some kind of pressure. See what he calls here on 3rd and 12.
The Cardinals blitz more than any team in the league. Instead, a run to Mark Ingram with a 4-man rush, and he gets inside the 20, but it's 4th down.
Well, we were wrong on both counts, right? He's not going to run a pressure. He's going to play soft zone. The New Orleans Saints playing it safe, try to hand off the ball, try to spring them, but good job by this Arizona defense buckling down after some big plays early by the New Orleans Saints.
An interesting call on 3rd and long, so a 37-yard field goal try. Will Lutz has made 6 straight since suffering the block at Carolina back in November. To get the Saints on the board, and the rookie delivers. Cardinals take their first possession for a touchdown. The Saints answer with 3.
All right, we're going to take you for the tour. First floor, bun. Second floor, 2 patties. Third floor, penthouse, 6 strips of bacon, sesame seed roof. Sunset.
Try the new Bacon King with a half pound of beef and 6 strips of crispy bacon. It's truly the Bacon King, only at Burger King.
Today's game is sponsored by the new Bacon King sandwich, only at Burger King.
I know the commitment to the run, but Saints fans 3rd and 12 down in that area inside the 25 of Arizona to call a run.
Maybe he's trying to make a commitment to his team that, yes, we're going to run it. And behind the sticks, again, they've had so many mistakes on offense the last couple of games. I understand why he's trying to play it safe, but, yeah, definitely a questionable call by Sean Payton on offense.
Will Lutz with the kick, and Brenton Golden coming out again in his own end zone up to the 20 and taking people with him across the 25-yard line. A healthy looking return as the Cardinals take over on offense with a 4.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by AT&T.
Grand Canyon nearby, and David Johnson as Arizona gets the football for the second time. That offensive line has been reshuffled as we have addressed. Johnson gets up near the 30, and that's what Bruce Arians said, Rondé, that it gives a chance for young players to kind of step up at this point of the season and get some playing time.
Yeah, you know, aside from the fact that they're moving John Wetzel to left tackle and Earl Walford to right, it gives Taylor Boggs a chance to get some tape out there, and nobody knows about it. I don't really know, but I had to ask Coach, you know, give me something on him. He said he's a smart, tough player. He might struggle with some power, but he's got a tough matchup today. Nick Fairley on the other side has had a great year for the New Orleans Saints, and I think if you're Cam Jordan looking at Wetzel over there, you got to be licking your chops today.
Fitzgerald with another catch. Spun backwards and has to fight. And the ball's out, and the Saints are on it. It's Craig Robertson. It was that extra attempt by Fitzgerald to slip out of a tackle, and the Saints with a takeaway.
Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald trying to do a little bit too much right here in traffic, and you know, just quick little slant completion. It's a little hot route that they run a lot, but watch Kruger come in here 99 and just affect that ball, pull it out. Robertson right on the spot to get the takeaway for the New Orleans Saints. Now, Chris, this is the area where this defense of the Arizona Cardinals has to step up in my mind. They've had so many sudden change opportunities and haven't been able to stop people from scoring. See what they're able to do here today.
And Robertson, one of those bright spots for the Saints defense this year. Quick handoff through the crowd is Hightower to the 25-yard line. Robertson didn't play last week. Stephen Anthony stepped in back in that middle linebacker spot. Anthony, as we mentioned, inactive, but Robertson leading the team in tackles this year. The top tackler, former Cleveland Brown. From the 26-yard line, second down. 4-minute mark of the opening quarter. Man-to-man coverage. Brees to Cadet, who dives inside the 20.
Yeah, good eyes there, partner, in that man-to-man look right there. You know, we know that because Tony Jefferson splits out to the other side. He's covered in the tight end. Peterson, we talked about the matchup with Michael Thomas, and that leaves C.O. Moore right there on Tavarius Cadet, and that's the matchup the Saints want. You know, they have an advantage there. Good quick decision by Drew Brees, a good catch by Cadet there.
4 out of 5 so far for Brees. Hightower in the backfield. He gets the carry straight ahead, picks up just a couple. So they call that, they used to say Patrick Peterson would be traveling with Michael Thomas. What do they call that, star coverage now? Is that how he stars him?
I like to call it cat coverage.
Cat, what is that?
Yeah, you take that cat, I'll take this cat. Patrick Peterson is the guy on this defense who finds the primo matchup. I call them premium matchups of the week. And when they're in those man-to-man situations, I think today we're going to see him and 13 have a nice little battle.
Mark Ingram run out of bounds. Cardinals were ready for that. It'll be third down. The Falcons have just gone in front of the 49ers 14-0 in Atlanta.
Well, Tyrann Mathieu was back after missing some games. He's right here playing that safety nickel role, and I was wondering how he would react to that shoulder. Earlier we saw a tackle, he threw his shoulder in there, and looks pretty good to me so far, Chris.
From New Orleans, of course, a Pro Bowler, LSU star, has battled some injuries. Back for this one after a loss of 3. It's 3rd and 11. Brees. Flag down at the 26-yard line.
Personal foul, face mask, number 44, defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
That's on Marcus Golden, as Carl Chaffers is our referee today.
Well, that was good defense by the Arizona Cardinals, and where's he at? He's right there on the end of your line of scrimmage, working on Andrews Pete, and know, he's had a great year. He can work with power and speed, but that is illegal.
So instead of 4th down, the penalty gives the Saints a 1st down inside the 10 where it's 1st and goal. Tim Hightower knocked down right around the line of scrimmage. Swearinger came up from the safety spot.
Tackled by DJ Swearinger.
DJ Swearinger, enforcer on the back end of this defense. You know, when Tyron was out and they needed a guy to step up and play, it was him. Tony Jefferson's the MVP in my mind of this defense, the way he's played this year, but you got a guy like DJ Swearinger laying hits like that. That's a statement.
Brees, low and incomplete at the 1-yard line. Willie Snead the target.
Great play by Tony Jefferson here, playing a little bit of a bracket coverage on Snead on this guy, and watch him make this play right here. You see Tyrann Mathieu let him go inside, and then Tony Jefferson's been doing this all season long, man. He's a great tackler. He's also showing well in pass coverage.
3rd and goal from the 10 of Arizona. Brees the other way, open. Cadet for the end zone. Touchdown Saints! He reached the ball across the plane as soon as he caught it, and the fumble recovery by Robertson leads to a Saints touchdown.
I want you to watch Patrick Peterson's eyes right here. These are greedy eyes right here. Look at him look at the quarterback. He completely misses the pivot route by Travarius Cadet, and that's close. Let's check this out on this angle and see if he has possession of this football as he crosses the goal line. That's close, man.
Any part of the ball before the knee touched, it looked like he got it right there. That's a touchdown.
I think that's a touchdown.
And it has been confirmed, as all scoring plays are. Cadet with his 2nd touchdown of the season. And Drew Brees ends that string. Extra point by Lutz is good. And the Saints now have a 10-7 lead. Brees with his 1st touchdown in the last 2+ games.
January 10th, FX.
Tomorrow, Skip and Shannon talk NFL on Undisputed weekdays, 9:30 to noon. That's Eastern time, and you'll see it on FS1. After the fumble recovery, a 30-yard drive, and the 5th career touchdown catch for Travarius Cadet, the Cardinals have fumbled more than any other team in the NFL this year, and the Saints were able to take advantage. Lutz kicking off. Britton Golden, another opportunity from his own goal line. Golden up near the 25 and knocked out of bounds. With Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, and starting Christmas week festive time here in the stadium. What's your early read on this team? Drew Brees, one thing, looks very focused, and he's the kind of guy who responds well after having tough games.
Well, he always does. I love his comments during the week, and it wasn't quite the don't panic, but yeah, he's thrown interceptions in the past. The offense has struggled in the past, but you got to appreciate his approach to football and that he's going to go work at it. And it's showing up today. I think he'll have a bounce back kind of game, but this offense of the Arizona Cardinals, Chris, is going to have to answer him all day today and find a way to protect the football.
Carson Palmer back to Fitzgerald, who had lost that fumble that we talked about across the 31. Palmer coming in with the 20 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. But last year he was one of the fewest sacked quarterbacks. This year Carson Palmer has been sacked among the top 5 the most in the league this year.
I talked about it last week when we did these guys. Just the number of hits that he's taken. The sacks are one thing, but the abuse that he's taking when he drops back to pass. He got to find a way to get the ball out of his hands quicker, get the ball to his playmakers.
Kerwin Williams is in at running back. He has the touchdown run, and he's met right away. Excellent tackle from Roman Harper. And looks like the ball was loose, and the Saints got it back. Or I should say the Cardinals got it back. And it is remaining Arizona football.
A lot of two-back Kerwin Williams, David Johnson type of sets that I haven't seen very frequently for the Arizona Cardinals. I'm seeing David Johnson line up as a receiver as much as I'm seeing him line up in the backfield. Definitely a new wrinkle for Bruce Arians' offense.
Takes 2. Set go.
3rd and 3, first quarter winding down. Timeout,
First charge,
New Orleans.
Timeout, New Orleans. A 30-second timeout.
And a timeout here with 11 seconds remaining.
You know, that observation, I think it's probably because of the Michael Floyd
being down a receiver who was a starter.
Receiver who was a starter. You know, this has been an offense that's been mostly the Arizona Cardinals offense. I mean, an offense that's mostly been 3 wide receivers on 3rd down. That 3rd down lineup there was only 2 receivers on the field: Larry Johnson, John Brown, and 2 tight ends. So this is kind of a departure from what we've seen out of this risk it no biscuit offense of Bruce Arians this season.
And John Brown, with only 31 catches, who still is battling that sickle cell trait, which has affected his health and his amount of playing time, his burst of speed. After a Saints timeout, 3rd down 3. Protected, floating for an open Johnson, and David has it out of bounds with a first down across the 46-yard line.
What you're going to see here, I mean, David Johnson, he's lined up just outside of the edge of the tackle, so you kind of know that he's going out for a route, but this is what sprung it. Clearly within the 1-yard line of scrimmage. Good play by Arizona.
Saints take a turnover and take the lead, but the Cardinals are on the move after 1 quarter in Arizona.
24 Legacy after the Super Bowl on Fox.
A moment ago, Sean Payton used a timeout when his team was on defense. He wanted another look. This was ruled down by the carry. The officials looked like there might have been a fumble. He was maybe considering challenging that, but not a clear replay. And so we move on, but a lost timeout for the Saints, and the Cardinals continuing to move with David Johnson. He gets the carry up near the 49-yard line.
Great cut there by David Johnson. I mean, just ability to change direction. I mean, this is a big man. I mean, he's not like he's a little scat kind of back. I mean, he's 220 pounds, 6'1".
He mentioned, Rondé, that the scouts, when he came out of college, said he runs too upright, and he's been out to prove them wrong ever since.
I think he's done that.
Yes, his over 1,800 total scrimmage yards will prove that.
180!
Extra pressure coming, gets rid of it to Nelson, who's falling inside the 45. Will be close enough to measure for a first down. Let's get game break. Check it again with Carissa.
Thanks, Chris. A crazy day in the AFC South. So Brock Osweiler was benched in the first half. Tom Savage to Lamar Miller for this 1-yard score. The Texans win 21-20, and then the Titans on the road. A game-winning field goal, a huge win for them. Both teams now tied at 8-6. Chris, Rondé, and Holly.
Tennessee was down 17-7 on the road at that point. The game the Saints care about is Atlanta, and they're winning at home 14-0 over the 49ers in the opening quarter. Pitch to David Johnson. And a swarm of Saints as he goes out of bounds around the 41-42-yard line of Arizona. Johnson, a triplet himself, and mentioned that his wife Megan, due with their first child, a young son that they expect in January.
Excited for him. This is a mature young man now, and talking to their ownership last week when we had these guys, you just don't believe that he's as good as he is. I mean, obviously he's a great football player, but he's humble in the way he approaches his job. You just root for a guy like this, and yeah, congratulations on the baby. His life will change, as we all know.
First down from the 40 for the Cardinals. He's already got 30 total yards in this game. The pressure is on Palmer, and he's going to get sacked. Cameron Jordan. Nick Fairley was also there.
You know, the left side of this defensive line, when these two guys line up together, watch the early penetration by Nick Fairley over the rookie Taylor Boggs. Not the rookie, but first year starting Taylor Boggs just whiffs on him, and then Cam Jordan there to clean up this sack of Carson Palmer.
box in his 5th year from Humboldt State, a free agent. He said, Rod, he was with the Bears, said, I spent a half a decade trying to get a starting job, and now I get one, and it's against these guys.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to do better than that. And you feel bad for him going against Nick Fairley, who I think has had one of the great years. Sheldon Rankins is in the game, too. He's going to have to deal with him all day today, too.
Johnson as a receiver makes a nice little move to get inside the 40, down to the 37 of the Saints.
You know, one thing that David Johnson does better than anybody I've ever seen is just feel like the shadow of the defender, and he's avoiding guys before they're even in the picture. And the guy, he's got such a quick lateral movement. A lot of times you're like, how does he see that guy? But he does. He's always finding positive yardage, whether it's out of the backfield as a receiver or as a runner.
Sean Payton, who scouted him, said we knew he was a great receiver. And Payton, who played at Eastern Illinois in his college days, said, well, a guy out of Northern Iowa, we like that conference. That's always good to see somebody rise from above there.
Righty, 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 righty.
3rd and 7 after the sack and the gain of 12. Palmer for Brown, just off his fingertips.
Oh, he had him all the way here, Chris. This throw just a touch too heavy, but he had a matchup that he wanted. I'm not sure who the corner, inside corner here is here covering. Oh, it's Von Bell. So yeah, speed versus the rookie. He had him beat. That ball is just a little less weighted. That's a touchdown for John Brown.
So a field goal try of 55 yards. Catanzaro made from 56. New holder is Matt Weil. He's the new punter. He's never held before. Signed as they released Drew Butler this week after a number of miscues on special teams. The kick is not good. Saints will have good field position after the defense stalls out the Arizona offense.
The season for simple. What's in your wallet?
I have a way better deal here. 10 nuggets for $1.49. I think 2 full Whopper meals for $10 is clearly the better deal. He wears glasses and he can't see which is the better deal. You want these glasses? No, I don't.
Get 2 Whopper meals for $10 or 10 nuggets for $1.49. Only at Burger King.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Citizen Echo Drive watches, powered by Light.
On the missed field goal, you can't blame the execution on this one.
Well, Bruce Arians is not happy. He might be thinking of a different type of execution. That's Amos Jones, the special teams coordinator. And they've had these type of problems all year long. But yes, you're right. The snap, hold, perfect kick pushed.
The new holder and punter, who actually punted against in a couple of games for Atlanta, subbing against the Cardinals, and they were impressed and signed him this week. But great field position for the Saints from the 45-yard line. Brees throws and Cooks hauls it in Cardinal territory. How about the idea of being aggressive with that field goal try, knowing you're giving the Saint offense good field position if you don't get it?
Oh, I think they got to find ways to execute kicks. I don't think Bruce Arians in his mind is thinking that your guy's going to miss it. They've had a lot of faith in Chandler Catanzaro over the years, but this year he struggled. I mean, pushing, pulling, a lot of his kicks, and that's just another one. Sets up the Saints with really good field position at midfield.
Catanzaro now 16 out of 22 field goal attempts as Mark Ingram carries and gets a first down for the Saints.
You could definitely feel a commitment to the run game here early in this football game. Ingram has already got 6 carries. You mentioned that he only had 14 the other week, but the balance, it's there. It helps their defense like we've talked about with this team in the past, but it just helps your offense get in a rhythm. Stay ahead of the sticks. You could do that when you're running a football.
If he averages 76 yards a game over the final 3, he'll be a 1,000-yard rusher. Mark Ingram, the first since Deuce McAllister for the Saints. On first down, plenty of time in the pocket, and that's Michael Thomas with his first catch of the game. And Thomas, who missed last week, you talked about it in the open, Rhonda, he leads in all major categories among rookie receivers with catches and yards and touchdowns, and his big physical presence was missed in the loss last week to Tampa Bay.
Well, I think it's interesting what Sean Payton told us. You know, Michael Thomas does all the sticky stuff, whatever that means to this offense, catching the tough passes, and he's so good at the line of scrimmage. And he's definitely a factor when he wasn't in the game.
On second down, Ingram to the 35-yard line, just short, it would appear, of the first down.
Yeah, you're getting great blocking up front. The guard tackle combination there, and that's Senio Clemente and Andrews Pete doing their job on the left side of this offensive line, open up some nice holes for Mark Ingram.
Falcons now with a 21-0 lead over the 49ers in Atlanta. That game in the second quarter. Falcons with Tampa Bay top of the division as John Kuhn carries. And again, the third down conversions, nobody better this year in the league than the Saints, but Cardinals were up to that challenge. And it looks like it's fourth down, making a measurement here. And you see the numbers. Sean Payton's offense impressive on fourth down as well as those third down conversions.
That's a lot of fourth down conversions to go with, but when you got to figure when you're on the plus side of the 50, no reason to attempt the long field goal. It'd be in the same situation that they just got from the Cardinals. Why not go for it down here? No reason to punt it. See what they come up with here on fourth and very short.
We have a timeout here, and the Saints will use their second, and Sean Payton is frustrated. A lot of clock was running off the play clock, and the Saints will consider their situation with the timeout.
Football on NBC and Monday Night Football on ESPN. Then Week 16 kicks off with Thursday Night Football in Philadelphia.
After the timeout, Saints pass up a 53-yard field goal try. They need a yard from inside the 35 of Arizona. Brees. Catch made. Willie Snead with a first down inside the 30 of Arizona.
Good job, Drew Brees here, finding the receiver back across the middle of the football field here. You would think that he would be looking out to the flat on this swap action, but Willie Snead sneaking underneath the defense, finds a little bit of space, and good delivery. First down, Saints.
Spreading the ball around. Already 7 different players have caught a pass in this game from Drew Brees. Spotted right at the 30. Brees. Snead. First down. Inside the 20. Down around the 17. There's a flag down back where Brees let the ball go.
Number 75 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Andrews Pete, second-year player from Stanford, called for the penalty, negates a first down gain.
Well, here's the matchup I mentioned early in the football game. Andrews Pete playing left tackle, having to work against Chandler Jones, their leading sack guy, and that's the hold right there that you see, pulls him to the ground. He's imploring the flag, and he got it.
Chandler Jones also leads the team in forced fumbles. Now it's a 1st and 20 instead of a 12-yard pickup. Extra pressure. Brees gets rid of it, and incomplete. Trying to go to Mark Ingram on the sideline, but Kevin Minter was there.
Great play by Kevin Minter. He was a little bit behind in coverage here on Mark Ingram, and Drew Brees saw this. He identified that Kevin Minter right there is a little bit out of position, tries to get this ball out quick to Ingram, but watch him finish on the football through his hands. Nice play.
Minter, one of 4 LSU players on this defense, 3 that are active today. Hightower comes in from the 40. Brees goes down. The ball's out. Calais Campbell has it. I don't think anybody's going to get the big guy. Touchdown, Cardinals.
What a great play by
Marcus Golden, forced the fumble.
Yeah,
and
great.
6'8" Campbell, over 300 pounds, sailed into the end zone.
What a great play by Marcus Golden here. And the big monster, Calais Campbell, finishing to the end zone for a touchdown. Watch Golden, he's right here. I'm sorry, he's at the top of your screen is Golden, but that's Calais Campbell. You see the forced fumble, and then Calais Campbell trotting in. Tim Hightower, give him credit, he almost chased him down, but what a great defensive play by the Arizona Cardinals.
The extra point, I mean, this is unbelievable, is no good by Chandler Catanzaro. We'll take a closer look at the snap and hold, but disappointment from Brees and from the Cardinals special teams, but the first career touchdown for Calais Campbell.
Device. Citizen. Time to unplug.
Today's game is sponsored by the $10 any pizza carryout deal, only at Pizza Hut.
So 4 extra points missed. Looks like the snap and hold were good.
Perfect. Executing there, the center, holder, and whipped it left.
Something's in the head of Cardinal kicker Chandler Catanzaro. Of his last 7 kick attempts, field goals or extra points, he's missed 5 for various reasons, and now kicking off. Cardinals already cut their punter. They may have to change field goal kickers as well. Tommy Lee Lewis with some room to run for the Saints all the way up to the 24-yard line. Drew Brees the last time after the sack fumble returned by Calais Campbell. Let's check in with Jennifer.
Well, Chris, that touchdown was especially sweet for Calais because after 9 years with the Cardinals, he is a free agent next season. So potentially this could be his final game here in this stadium. I talked to him pregame and he was a little emotional. He was getting a little teary. He said, I just want to enjoy the ride and soak up every moment. And my goodness, it's going to be one for him to remember, Chris.
You think that he remains a Cardinal?
I do think he stays here. I mean, he's been playing at a Pro Bowl level
he's the Larry
for so
Fitzgerald
long.
of their defense.
Exactly right. And this is a great picture by Carson Palmer talking to his kicker. Nobody else probably wants to say a word to him, but good leadership there by your quarterback.
Good catch by Willie Snead. And Swearinger putting the hit on him. And a veteran move, a classy move by Carson Palmer in a leadership role beyond the quarterback position.
Well, I can only imagine what's going through Chandler Catanzaro's head right now. He probably feels like nothing in the world is going right for him. Given opportunities, perfect snap holds like we said, and still missing. But they're going to need him the rest of this game. Hopefully he gets a chance to redeem himself.
Remember, he started his career with 17 consecutive field goals. It's been a difficult stretch in the last couple of seasons. Hightower fake to him. Brees with time for Brandon Cooks. He's open, and that's going to be a Saints touchdown.
Well, so much for that 2-game no touchdown streak of Drew Brees'.
65 yards, his second touchdown of the game, and still 6 minutes plus remaining in the half.
Well, you're going to see a real breakdown in this Cardinals secondary. This is cover 2. He's going to sit in the flat and watch your safety right here, DJ Swearinger, get turned around. All Brandon Cooks did was look to the sideline. He went with them, left the middle of the field wide open. Easy throw and catch. Big touchdown for the Saints.
Brees 11 out of 14. He comes back after the fumble. Flags are down as the extra point is good from Will Lutz.
Some big plays in this game already, Chris.
Well, we figured with these two offenses you would have excitement. Didn't expect the Calais Campbell touchdown rumble. Let's check on this flag. Carl Jeffers.
On the extra point, offside, number 28. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. Timeout.
That's on special team stud Justin Bethel. But Cooks racing into the end zone. And the Saints come back for a 17-13 lead.
Queen Latifah and Snoop Dogg host Pitbull's New Year's Revolution live on Fox.
Game breaker Brandon Cooks, the former first-round draft pick. He had a 98-yard touchdown catch and carry week 1 against the Raiders, an 87-yarder against Carolina in week 6, and then 65 yards here moments ago against the Cardinals. And Lutz kicking off. A little further up after the penalty. Britton Golden, they want the return. Saints will have to get to Golden, and here comes a flag. Good special teams play. New Orleans knocking him down around the 17-yard line. Not as if the...
During the return, holding, number 70, return team, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Evan Bain called for the infraction.
You'll see it right in the middle of your screen. It's pretty obvious.
These are two teams where special teams, you could say the Cardinals, it's cost them 3 games this year. The Saints have had their share of special team issues that have affected their record in close games. 3-6 in games decided by within 6 points this year.
You wonder why good teams with good personnel lose football games, and that's why. It's a bridge between offense and defense usually, but when you're losing that battle, it's hard to win football games.
Carson Palmer hoping to respond. Tight end Jermaine Gresham. And he fights for a couple of extra yards. It couldn't bring him down.
Jermaine Gresham has really come on strong here the last couple of weeks.
Nate Stupar is the injured Saint. Let's check in on the Falcons. Say hi again to Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Chris. So they were up 14-0 when rookie Austin Hooper finds that pass right there from Matt Ryan. Ryan's second touchdown pass of the day. The Niners would answer with a touchdown of their own, so the Falcons lead 21-7. Chris, Rhonda, and Holly.
All right, thank you. We'll be watching the Buccaneers playing the Cowboys tonight in that NFC South as Stupar continues to be worked on.
And he has been a valuable football player for the New Orleans Saints this year. Obviously comes in as a special teams guy, but the number of snaps that he's taken on defense this year has been crucial, especially during their tough patch with some injuries at linebacker, some ineffectiveness at linebacker, and looks like they're going to take him right into the locker room here and find out what's wrong with that right knee.
Next week, special Saturday edition, the NFL on Fox. Start off Christmas Eve with the kickoff show, America's #1 pregame show, and then a full slate of action. Cardinals will be in Seattle. The Seahawks, congratulations, winners of the NFC West. And the Saints will be hosting the Buccaneers and Jameis Winston. All on Fox. On second down 1, J.J. Nelson with a first down at the 20-yard line.
This Cardinals offense does a lot of these type of throws. When they get an abnormal number of people in the box, Carson Palmer has a great understanding with his receivers. Just pick up, throw it out there instead of trying to run through 7, 8, 9 guys in the box. Let your receiver pick up the 1 yard. Good play, first down.
We saw Palmer talking to the kicker moments ago. Despite a frustrating game for him last week, he did lead the Cardinals back to tie that game in Miami at the 3-minute mark before Dolphins won on a game-closing field goal. That's David Johnson. Knocked down right away by the Saint defense. It'll be second down.
A lot of David Johnson out of the backfield again. Kerwin Williams in it, running back. David Johnson lined up outside. Watch Larry Fitzgerald. Does a lot as a receiver, but he does a lot of this too, man. Beating up guys and blocking. He'll block defensive ends. He'll block whoever, linebackers. Great asset at 33 years old, still going strong.
Coming down, has 2. 580. What?
Wide open, the pass bounced in front of J.J. Nelson. It'll be third down.
Oh, that's just a bad throw by Carson Palmer. J.J. Nelson had great separation on B.W. Webb, the corner out there, and this ball's got to hit him in the chest. Instead, it's low and outside, and just a poor pass.
B.W. Webb leading the Saints in passes defended this year and having to play more of a role with Delvin Breaux out with that left shoulder. Now Ellington, David Johnson, and Kerwin Williams all come in for the Cardinals on third down. Fitzgerald in the slot. There's J.J. Nelson. And Johnson in motion. He has the football. But it's going to be fourth down. Good stand by the Saints defense.
I was just going to say, great stand by the Saints defense. These guys have done a really nice job the past couple of weeks, and I know they've lost some games when they've played well, but the one thing that they do is they give you a chance. I mean, obviously the offense struggled 2 weeks in a row, but they were in football games because their defense stood up and played well, and they're doing it again today.
Matt Weil making his Cardinal debut on his NFL debut. Remember, he punted against the Cardinals for Atlanta and sticks that somewhere between the 35 and 40-yard line of the Saints. New Orleans takes over with the lead on the road.
Bro, your stuff is on fire. Someone better call the fire department. Woo, woo. State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these.
Bro, your stuff is on fire.
Someone better call the fire department.
Yeah, you should call the fire department. This is your stuff.
More people save money by combining their home and auto with State Farm. Here to help life go right.
Give your home the gift of huge holiday deals right now at Lowe's. Like this DeWalt 20-volt 4-tool combo kit for only $249. Plus, get this 68-piece mechanics tool set with rolling tool chest for only $79. Save big on everything you need to make your home happy right now at Lowe's.
Time has always had its own energy. We move with light. We rise with light. We live with light. Echo Drive, powered by light. Any light never needs a battery. Citizen.
Most people who sign up for health insurance on healthcare.gov qualify for financial help to make coverage more affordable, lowering their monthly premiums. Most find low premium plans for $50 to $100 a month. These are quality plans that include coverage for doctor visits, no-cost preventive services, and prescription drugs. The final 2017 enrollment deadline is January 31st.
It was interesting when you were talking to Sean Payton. He said, I don't have any doubt what's in the mind of my quarterback about this week in terms of being prepared, fighting back after a couple of weeks of a struggling offense.
Yeah, it's about who's coming with them, and I think Sean Payton recognized that. Drew Brees was very vocal about that. He knows they're struggling. He knows he struggled last week, especially in crunch time against Tampa when he had to make the throws. He wasn't able to make it, but they'll go back to work. Like I said, having Michael Thomas back will help him, opens up some passing opportunities for Brandon Cooks, which we've already seen today. So I was expecting a bounce back game, and so far we've seen it.
Sean Payton said, some of that was on me. I got to call better plays, and some of the run plays have helped set up Brees today. It's a short pass to Hightower across the 41-yard line. When you've been together as long as Sean Payton and Drew Brees have been together, you think alike in good times and in bad.
Absolutely. And I honestly think Drew Brees could go out and call a game himself, and Sean Payton has to do a good job kind of governing his quarterback, because Drew Brees will try to do too much or do it by himself, and running game, like you said, has helped today.
Brees to Michael Thomas. That's complete. He said, yeah, this quarterback works with a chip on his shoulder. He always has had that. He just adds to it.
Yeah, I think that started however many years ago when he left San Diego, but I appreciate the way he approaches the game of football. No one has done it better.
Good enough for a first down. He made the point, Sean Payton, that you don't want to have your quarterback have all this yardage and then go home a loser at the end of the game.
And he gave some not to be mentioned examples of that.
We've seen them all around the league.
Yeah.
First down, Brees to throw again, and knocked away. Excellent defensive play by Marcus Cooper.
Marcus Cooper, this is a great play on Michael Thomas. The guy he gives up some catches, but he's got some great footwork at time. Watch his pedal right here. It's nice and clean, stays square when he needs to, and he was trying to pick that thing. Good play.
Cardinals got a touchdown run from Kerwin Bell, then a defensive touchdown from Calais Campbell. From Kerwin Williams, excuse me. The Saints on a 65-yard touchdown pass a moment ago, taking the lead as Tim Hightower carries. And already Brees with a couple of touchdowns as we near the 2-minute warning. Saints have one timeout. Cardinals have all three. The 2-minute mark. Saints leading here in Arizona 17-13. Your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. A young, excited fan here in Glendale, Arizona at the University of Phoenix Stadium. He knows Christmas is coming, but the playoffs, not so sure for these two. Not looking good, but the Saints with the lead, and Brees. Cooks has it, scoops the low throw, puts on the Jets, and Brandon Cooks is in for a touchdown.
Chris, this is the most explosive offense in football. They're 56, their plays of 20-plus yards, 56 of them coming into this football game. And I got to tell you what, this ends up being a mismatch. Brandon Cooks ends up on Tyrann Mathieu, who's just coming back from shoulder, knee problems. And watch the afterburners. Ain't nobody catching him. Second long touchdown of the day for Brandon Cooks, and his offense is on track today.
And 3 touchdown passes for Drew Brees. Nearing the 200-yard mark, a 24-13 Saints lead.
Talk about looking motivated. Did you see that look on Brandon Cook's face there? He is, a couple of weeks ago, we had the game where he didn't get a catch in a blowout of the Los Angeles Rams, and he comes out publicly wanting to be fed with the football, but he's gotten his opportunity last week with Michael Thomas being out, and this week he has been the man.
He's only 5'10", and that's right around where Drew Brees is, so the little guys come up big. Brandon Cooks 4 catches, over 120 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. First round pick in 2014. He was the 20th choice overall that year. And the combo of his speed and the size of Michael Thomas, the rookie from Ohio State, is something Brees can smile about.
Well, last year these two teams played. Patrick Peterson followed Brandon Cooks all across the field. I don't know what they're thinking on this Carolina Cardinals sideline. I'm sorry. They might want to reconsider putting him back on Brandon Cooks with this game that he's having.
Here comes Britton Golden out of the end zone on the return. Knocked down inside the 20. Traveris Cadet, who has a touchdown catch, making the special teams play. Week 15, the Giants hold off the Lions in a defensive struggle. Green Bay beat Chicago. That tightens things up in the NFC North. Falcons are leading the 49ers 21-7 in Atlanta as they play in the second quarter. And here, Cardinals and Saints going at it, and already Saints with the 11-point lead.
Takes the mic, 2. Hey, hot. Let go. Line 80. Hot.
Jermaine Gresham with a catch up near the 44-yard line and a first down. Floated in there beautifully by Palmer. All 3 timeouts for the Cardinals.
Great throw by Carson Palmer there. Jermaine Gresham just working through a zone coverage and right on time with that delivery.
Wide open. That's John Brown. He's got a first down inside the 45. Clock still running. Arizona uses the timeout.
So say you either take a timeout here or you throw the ball on the ground, clock it, and they got a number. They still got, 2 timeouts left after this play. So yeah, you have to find a way to manage the football game in 2-minute situations. Carson Palmer's great at it. His head coach, Bruce Arians, play caller, is great at it. Look for a lot of quick completions with 2 timeouts remaining.
Coming up, the Visa halftime report. The playoff scenario will be covered up to the moment the Eagles eliminated from playoff contention. The loser of this game between the Saints and Cardinals will be officially eliminated. Plus highlights of all the other games going on. Houston, the Texans rally to win. Same for the Titans, who were on the road, and the Colts blowing out Minnesota.
I think it's important for the Cardinals to go in and score here before half. They don't get the ball after the half. And with the way that this offense is working on the other side of the field, they need to keep pace.
Palmer's in trouble and gets rid of it. Donnell Ellerbe was in on him and hanging on to him before he got rid of the football.
Well, you talked earlier about the Arizona Cardinals being the most heaviest blitzing team in football. Well, these guys aren't far behind. Dennis Allen's group is, I think, 3rd in the league in a number of pressures that they bring. And you get in 2-minute situations, you know that the offense is trying to complete short passes to keep things going. I like the call to bring some pressure on the quarterback.
5-2-2-6.
From the 44-yard line of the Saints.
980.
Palmer for Nelson, and he tried the one-handed catch. You saw Carson kind of hesitate and then see that Nelson was open, but incomplete. It's now 3rd down. Carson Palmer's numbers 12 out of 18 and a tough hit on Carson.
Well, he took the hit But on the outside there, B.W. Webb, who was covering J.J. Nelson there, took a chance and tried to jump the play, but it left J.J. Nelson wide open. Just Carson Palmer couldn't improvise well enough to get him the football.
That was rookie Sheldon Rankins, the first rounder of the Saints. He put the hit on Palmer. Open again for the first down, catches John Brown.
I love when offenses do this. They reduce the formation, and then John Brown is right here and just runs an out. Reduce it to expand you. B.W. Webb plays it wrong because he's inside technique there. He should be outside of John Brown, preventing that throw right there on 3rd and long. First down for the Cardinals. Good execution.
Brown only had 1 catch in the last 4 games. He has 2 today after a pickup of 11. Over the head of Larry Fitzgerald and a flag down.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 94 defense, illegal contacting the quarterback's helmet. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Cameron Jordan called for the penalty, and it's a big one that moves the team closer, 15 yards in field goal range.
Cam Jordan's right there. Watch him as he approaches the quarterback here. He's working on Earl Watford, pushes him right back into the quarterback, but you see at the end his head kind of leaning towards Carson. That's where that penalty came from.
Now at the 18-yard line, first down for the Cardinals, under a minute to go and 2 timeouts. Palmer gets rid of it. Jermaine Gresham had his back turned on the play, and Kruger was chasing down Carson Palmer. There's Dennis Allen, first year as the full-time defensive coordinator, the man in charge of this Saints defense, and they've been better. They've improved.
They've been better with some bodies down. You know, Kenny Vaccaro suspended, still using that 3 safety look. It's helped this defense in the last couple of weeks.
Palmer to Fitzgerald in traffic. He gets inside the 10-yard line. Cardinals will use a timeout. They'll have 1 remaining with 45 seconds before the half.
Good throw there by Carson Palmer too. I mean, Robertson was really close to making a play on this football, but found his most reliable receiver, Larry Fitzgerald, sets up a nice 3rd and short here.
It's an area too where Carson Palmer previously had called Michael Floyd the X factor, and now of course he's an ex-Cardinal as a factor, and some players upset about the way he was released.
Carson's got a chance here, 3rd and 1. You still have a timeout. You can play the ball into the middle of the field. You can throw it anywhere, really, and then you have your opportunities after this to take shots at the end zone, but it's important that they get a first down here.
Good run. You still have the timeout. David Johnson now moves into the slot. Palmer floating one for the end zone, and J.J. Nelson has it, and it's a touchdown, Cardinals.
Well, they needed to find some other X factor, and if you're going to bring all-out pressure, you're just cleaning it up for your quarterback, and you'll see this picture right here. J.J. Nelson, you'll see him right here just running. He's got that same matchup on Vaughn Bell, and look at all this grass that he has to work with because they're playing man-to-man coverage. Throws a little behind, but J.J. Nelson beats him by so much. It's an easy touchdown for Arizona. Good drive right before the half to get back some points on this Saints team.
And this extra point is good. Fans cheering that. So despite the defensive strategy, both of these veteran quarterbacks able to use the time before the half to march their teams downfield. And for for John Brown, J.J. Nelson had some catches on that drive. That's only his 2nd touchdown of this season, and he was relied on heavily last year when the Cardinals went to the playoffs.
And here's Carson. Again, got pressure in his face, and J.J. Nelson just distance Von Bell to the corner of the end zone. Great throw, great catch. Really, really important drive for Arizona moving down the field.
We mentioned Nelson coming into the game. His last 3 touches had been for touchdowns. He has 3 catches today for a touchdown.
I'd say that's making up, taking advantage of your opportunity for J.J. Nelson. He's going to get a lot of them here the last couple of weeks of the season.
And a correction on Brown, helping them to get downfield with Nelson in the end zone. But you made the point, and we talked, without Michael Floyd, somebody else had to step up at receiver, and so far those 2 have.
Well, you know what Larry Fitzgerald's going to be. He's going to be the intermediate catch underneath, get all the dirty yardage, block in the run game. Somebody has got to be able to be a presence down the football field, and it's got to be J.J. Nelson or John Brown.
Tommy Lee Lewis on the return. Gets up across the 23-yard line where the Saint offense will take over. Let's check and see what's coming up at the Visa Halftime Report.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, the Patriots and Broncos put on a show in Denver, and 2 AFC West foes battle it out as the Raiders visit the Chargers. Get your popcorn ready. It's all coming up on the Visa Halftime.
Already there, Kurt. Can't wait.
You always have the popcorn ready when Carson Palmer and Drew Brees are in a game. Already 44 combined first half points. 3 touchdowns for Brees. Cadet falling to the ground. Saints have 1 timeout. Clock continuing to run.
Usually, you see a lot of urgency out of a team, out of this team. They like to try to steal points at the end of the half. I don't think they have enough time here with 18 seconds to get down and do it today, though.
Cadet. Can he get out of bounds? Ooh, a tough hit by Cooper as he went out of bounds. But it's 3rd down. And 8 seconds remain.
We knew it was going to be an explosive offensive football game today. I think both coaches came into this week, you know, with the slight chance that they might make the playoffs, but you got nothing to lose. In fact, both coaches told us, whatever you got at the bottom of your playbook, bring it out. And I think we've seen a lot of that today. Some plays and some formations that I haven't seen on film with these guys are emerging today. And
there's Cadet with some room to run and gets out of bounds up across the 43, and 1 second remains.
And it should make, for me, for an interesting second half. And very little to play for except for being a professional, and it's a football game. It's an opportunity to see some young guys, I think, and I think we're in for a good second half, Chris.
Well, we've already seen 2 big touchdown plays. Brandon Cooks from Drew Brees, Calais Campbell on a fumble return for a touchdown. Kerwin Williams running in for a touchdown, and then moments ago the J.J. Nelson touchdown catch from Carson Palmer. And Larry Fitzgerald goes back deep to play a little defensive back on a Hail Mary that won't happen. Give Campbell a sack.
Christmas present. He gifted him a sack.
He's the guy who said these are the games that define your character. I'd say his character in outfield play is pretty good. At the half, the Saints lead it 24-20. Let's head to Los Angeles for the Visa Halftime Report. Saints with a 4-point lead, getting ready to receive the kick of the Cardinals. A quick moment to check our first half highlights, brought to you by Head & Shoulders. A lot of big plays. Kerwin Williams running in for a touchdown. Cadet reaching across the goal line. Calais Campbell with a 53-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Brandon Cooks with a couple of long-range scores from Drew Brees, who has 3 first-half touchdown passes. And then J.J. Nelson hauling one in from Carson Palmer. Those are the first-half moments, brought to you by Head & Shoulders. Drew Brees getting loose. He will turn 38 years old on January 15th. Carson Palmer recently turning 37 years old. And there's the youthful receiver Brandon Cooks, who has lit up the scoreboard for the Saints. Kicking woes continue for Chandler Catanzaro. And kicking off to start the second half, driving this over the head of Lewis and into the end zone. Well, that's a fun game so far and should be an exciting second half. I know we talked about the Saints statistically top-ranked offense, Rondé, against the Cardinals, the top-ranked defense in the NFL. The Cardinals said they'd like to hold on to that #1 ranking. Tough challenge with a responsive Drew Brees.
Well, I think there's been some questions answered today, whether or not Drew Brees could throw a touchdown pass. He can. He's thrown 3 of them today, and you look at the Arizona Cardinals defense, and yes, statistically they're the #1 team in the league, but they have given up their share of big plays. And when their backs are against the wall, Chris, I've noticed this all year long, they haven't been able to make the game-changing type play. It's one of the reasons why they are mired in mediocrity this year, and we'll see if they're able to make some plays here in the second half to win a football game.
33 touchdown passes this season for Drew Brees, who came in leading the NFL in passing yards, and here he goes again. Throw that's incomplete at the 40-yard line for Michael Thomas. Let's head down to the field and Jennifer.
Chris, a moment ago you mentioned Chandler Canizaro's kicking woes for the Cardinals. Well, Bruce Arians pulled him aside at halftime, tried to settle him down, told him just do your job. You know how to do this. BA told me it's so important to get him comfortable because he feels like the way this game is going, it'll likely come down to a field goal in the end, Chris.
All right, thank you very much. Right now a 4-point difference. The Saints have been scoring an average of 27.5 points a game. They've been giving up an average of 27 points a game. That's the close games they've been involved in. And in the air for Michael Thomas, who made a turn. There were actually 2 receivers in the area and falling incomplete. Brees, the most accurate passer in NFL history. And this season, Rondé, he's over 70% completion rate.
Yeah, even with that 61% completion last week, still very efficient throwing the football. He's especially good on 3rd down. His team does a good job protecting him in these situations. And I got to imagine Arizona's going to pressure him soon.
And Peterson is on Cooks. Pass is low, but caught by Willie Snead short of the 1st down at the 30-yard line. So something you addressed that Patrick Peterson might have been on Michael Thomas. Well, this time he was on Cooks after he had such a big first half.
Well, it's interesting in this type of game when you have 2 receivers, Cooks and Michael Thomas, who present problems. Who do you put your best guy on? And I've seen today him be on both guys. Second half, I'm going to keep an eye and see if he's going to follow around 10 on those crucial 3rd down situations, because he has been lighting this Arizona defense up today.
First punt of the game for Thomas Morstead as Patrick Peterson watches it bounce and head out of bounds. A special edition of the NFL on Fox on Christmas Eve, the Fox NFL Kickoff Show, and America's #1 pregame show. And then among all the action, America's Game of the Week, the Vikings and Packers. Things have tightened up in that division with the Green Bay win and the Detroit loss. Bucks will be playing the Saints in New Orleans, and the Cardinals will be up in Seattle, where the Seahawks have won the West. We hope you tune in. Hope you have a great holiday season.
Nice outfit, kid. Love it. Braver than I am.
Three running backs are in. Of course, you know David Johnson splits as a receiver, but Kerwin Williams, Andre Ellington, and David Johnson from the 40-yard line. Great field position. And there they split out as receivers now, Johnson and Ellington. So only Williams in the backfield. He gets the football with a big hole. Kerwin Williams to the 45 of the Saints.
Well, open up and go to the recesses of your playbook. You do a lot of window dressing on this play just to turn around and hand the ball off. David Johnson out to the bottom. You get this motion here, but watch the gap that opens right there. I'm sorry, on the other side of that of Boggs there, and big gas play for Kerwin Williams. Had a big day today.
Now the Wildcat, he's taking the snap, gives it to David Johnson, and knocked down back at the 41. Creative.
That's the very first time that we've seen Kerwin Williams
give the ball up.
Place unselfishly. Gave the ball to David Johnson. Yes, this is now the 5th or 6th time that we've seen this in the past 2 weeks, and gives the ball to David Johnson. I love putting, when your offenses, when you're searching for answers a little bit, and they were definitely searching for answers last week, put the posture at quarterback. Let him make a decision. They pick up some nice yardage on first down there.
That play sheet, Arians, Kerwin Williams says every time we've asked him to do something, he's come through. The free agent from Utah State in his 3rd year. Johnson goes nowhere. Craig Robertson and Cam Jordan put up a wall that Johnson couldn't get through. By the way, Johnson's first career touchdown came against the Saints. It was on a touchdown reception. He had a 2-point conversion last week, but still holding on those 15 total touchdowns.
And if you're wondering about his yardage output today, he only has 51 yards now at halftime, trying to be one of the guys. What does he need? 2 more games to get the all-time record for most number of 100-yard games to start a year.
Total scrimmage yards, obviously at 13 and counting here. Palmer with pocket time. Fitzgerald can't grab it. Sterling Moore with excellent coverage.
Great coverage by Sterling Moore on the vet Larry Fitzgerald here, and they try to do a little switch route with Larry and David Johnson, but Sterling Moore is all over that play. Good job by this defense getting off on third down there.
Matt Weil added to the team, ready to punt. Also the holder, if you tuned in a little bit late, Jarvis Byrd is back for the Saints. And right at the 11-yard line, the Saints offense will take over with a 4-point lead here in the third quarter.
Okay.
Hey, buddy, you're a good driver. Get in the car. No, I don't think I should do this. Just get in the car!
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
Here in Arizona, some great golf courses nearby. We got to play last time.
Yeah, I think your ball's still in that bush right
That's where my clubs belong. I'm going to throw them all right in there. Meanwhile, the loser of this game will be eliminated from the playoff picture, and the Falcons leading 28-13 at home against the 49ers. If they win, it eliminates the Saints' chances of the playoffs as Mark Ingram gets up across the 16.5-yard line.
Haven't seen a lot of Mark Ingram here in the second quarter. He came out hot with those 7-8 carries to start the football game. See if they get back to trying to manage this game with the running game a little bit here.
He has. He came in with an average of just over 5 a carries, averaging almost 6 a carry in today's game on 9 carries. As Brees throws short to Michael Thomas. It looks like they're wherever Patrick Peterson goes, they're throwing on the other side.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't usually get a lot of targets per game, and he's a lockdown kind of guy now. He does a lot of things well for this defense. Allows the other guys, the other 10 guys, to play a little freer. I mean, not a lot of corners in this league can do what he does at corner, but it definitely opens up the playbook for their defensive coordinator.
Patrick Peterson started every game since being drafted in that opening round in 2011 for this Cardinal team. Probably going to another Pro Bowl. Brees' throw to Thomas. A good grab right at the first down marker, working against Marcus Cooper.
Just great timing on this throw catch. Great route by Michael Thomas. And that's the one thing that impresses me about Michael Thomas as a rookie. Just the precision that he works with his quarterback. He works at it in practice. He tell you he's a professional. You don't see many young guys that have the type of impact in their first year that he's had with this Saints offense. As he gets lined up wrong.
On 2nd and 1, the pitch to Ingram, who will get the first down and go out of bounds. Mentioned Brees over 200 passing yards, that high percentage of 19 out of 25. Cooks with 4 catches, 2 of those for touchdowns. We have a injured player. It is Marcus Cooper for the Cardinals. Last week he injured his back. We'll see what they're checking on here.
Thanks.
We're gonna live forever.
Get up to $2,500 customer cash on select 2016 and 2017 models for these terms. See your Lexus dealer.
Number 26, the rookie from Texas A&M, drafted in the 3rd round. He'll come in for Marcus Cooper, who went to the locker room. And first rounder Robert Kimdichie from Mississippi has come in on the defensive line for the Cardinals. Willie Snead catches and heads out of bounds right near the first down marker. The Cardinals really haven't gotten a lot out of there. A lot of solid production from their draft this year.
Kimdichie's been inactive almost every game, and Bruce Arians will tell you that he just hasn't done enough to show that he deserves to play. Great talent, great measurables when you look at the kid, but got to be able to produce, got to be able to be a pro every single day. And these two guys, Kime and Bidwell, they know what they need to get out of the kid. He hasn't quite shown it yet.
Good enough for the first down from the Saints' 48-yard line. Brees backpedaling and hits John Phillips. The tight end, of course, Josh Hill was put on the injured list, so he's the backup to Kobe Fleener.
And John Phillips he's been around a long time as a football player at a University of Virginia.
You mentioned that because I think you went there.
Yes, I know somebody that went there.
That's right. But he's been with the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Broncos.
You don't see him much as a pass receiver. He is primarily the blocker, but yes, with Hill going to IR a couple of weeks ago, he's taken on a much bigger role in this offense.
Pickup of 9. Tim Hightower gets the first down inside the 40-yard line. It was Larry Fitzgerald who said, I can't tell you how happy I am having been a teammate of his and appreciated the story of Hightower, what he's worked through, drafted by the Cardinals, injuries, out of football.
Yeah, everybody we talked to on the Cardinals staff or team that was here with him had nothing but glowing things to say about him. Happy that he's back where he is now playing football.
Brees for Cooks, and that's incomplete. Yeah, Hightower called Larry Fitzgerald a mentor, as many players do who have come through. And there's a Saints player injured at the 45-yard line. Senio Calamete, who has moved around on that offensive line to help out.
Today's game is sponsored by Verizon. It's always a great gift on Verizon.
Some great sights in and around Arizona, and enjoying a game with the roof open. Temperature get up in the high 60s. A little cool for this part of the country, but plenty of sunshine. Calamete is out. Tim Lolito comes in. He helped out at center last week when Max Unger was hurt. Unger playing today. And Ingram carrying, and for his career, more than 4,000 yards, a special list in the history of the New Orleans Saints. We mentioned McAllister, the last 1,000-yard rusher for a season. George Rogers, the very popular former LSU star Dalton Hilliard, and the Heisman Trophy winner Mark Ingram, over 4,000. 3rd down and 10 from just inside the Arizona 40. Brees to Cooks, who has a first down at the 25-yard line. I don't know that Peterson was on him that time. The way they lined up.
They were playing zone coverage here on the back end, and again, James Beckter decides to throw a pressure at this Saints offense. It puts 36. You'll see DJ Swearinger come into your screen late, having to cover Brandon Cooks, and he just doesn't have the speed to keep up with him.
That injury to Marcus Cooper, and Brees attacking that as Mark Ingram fights off a tackle, and at the 21 is shoved down. Let's get a game break with Carissa Thompson and check in again. Carissa?
Thanks, Chris. Earlier today, after losing 21-20 in a heartbreaking loss to the Texans and losing their 9th straight game, Gus Bradley fired as the head coach of the Jags. His record in Jacksonville, 14-48. Chris, Rondé, and Holly.
All right, a popular guy, but Bradley fired. The second coach this year, Jeff Fisher, fired prior to the Rams and their loss on Thursday night to Seattle. Brees, end zone. Did he hang on? No. Willie Snead had his hands on it, and Michael Thomas was back there as well.
Well, there was some confusion in the backfield here with the Arizona Cardinals trying to decide where they were going to get lined up. And Drew Brees tries to throw this over the head of C.O. Moore, who ends up on a wide receiver here, Willie Snead. And I mean, that looks like a catch to me. If Sean Payton wants to challenge that.
And it looks like we're going to get a challenge. That looks like he held onto it, went to the ground in the end zone, was touched, and would be down for a touchdown.
I don't see any part of that football touch the ground. And when he's on his back, you'll see it right here. When he is on his back, this ball is secured. I think this is a touchdown. Hand under the ball right there. You see it.
Is challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass. We'll review the play.
Ruled incomplete, but you saw what we saw. The officials will take a closer look on the challenge.
No. You can scroll menus for days, or just get what you want. All your favorites you crave, one box, $5, no hard choices. The $5 Cravings Deal, only at Taco Bell.
Today's game is sponsored by Samsung Pay. Turn your phone into your wallet.
Ruled incomplete. Snead thought he had it, challenged by Sean Payton in the end zone. Carl Jeffers.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. The pass is incomplete. New Orleans is charged with their first timeout.
And Mike Pereira was watching along with us, our rules analyst at the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles. Mike?
Yeah, and I agree with letting this stand, although the ball didn't initially come out when he first hit the ground, but as he started to roll over, it looks like it gets pulled away from him, and you lose sight of the ball. That's the key. So since they lost sight of the ball, at that point, you've got to leave it as it stands.
If that was ruled a touchdown, you'd think they would have left it that way?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's all we want to clarify. They took a closer look. Thank you, Mike Pereira. 3rd down 5, Brees. Incomplete. Inside the 15, Michael Thomas sliding but couldn't hold it. I guess the argument in that too, Ron, is if you have possession and you're downed in the end zone, but you got to carry through that element of time and hold on to the ball.
Yeah, we won't try to put you through the minutia that is the definition of a catch. It takes forever for us to figure it out. I'm glad Mike Pereira agreed with the call because I really didn't know where to go. I thought he had caught it, but you do have to possess it when you're going to the ground all the way through the catch, and that's why they called it incomplete.
A great effort anyway, and a nice defensive play to rip the ball out of there. Will Lutz from 39 yards away, and the kick is up and through. The Saints will expand their lead by 7.
Every kiss begins with K.
Patrick Peterson all in a lather over a play that it looked like he was either held or a face mask. That we'll take a look. Darryl Tapp. Nothing was called on the field goal that was good from Will Lutz, who's ready to kick off after a touchdown ruled incomplete, challenged and not overturned. Saints though with a 27-20 lead as you see the total yards piled up by these offenses. Lutz and Britton Golden has it. Britton Golden gets through all the way up near the 40-yard line. Let's go back, Rondé. Does he have a legitimate argument on this field goal? He's talking to the official with Darryl Tapp blocking against Peterson.
I think he talked to every single official on the field. He's right here in your screen. But watch Darryl Tapp gets his face mask. That's not what he's griping about. It's that. I think he has a legitimate case for being held, and he went right to your official, Carl Jeffers right after the play, and he is fired up, man. I agree with him. Look at him. Who wants to listen to me? I was held.
Something that's not reviewable, just in case you were wondering. 35-yard return sets up the Cardinals in good shape, trailing by 7. There's J.J. Nelson, and he was out of bounds around midfield. He had the touchdown catch before the half on an impressive drive by Carson Palmer and this Arizona offense.
Well, they do this all the time. We mentioned it earlier in the game. This just pick up and throw the football when the box count isn't right. And I think the Saints were trying to run a little bit of a invert cover 2. Safety go to the flat, and the corner back off to play the half field. Carson Palmer recognizes it, picks up those at the J.J. Nelson first down.
Saints have done a good job against the run today, and David Johnson. Palmer in trouble and floats it for David Johnson, who makes the catch. at the 26-yard line of New Orleans.
Well, great catch by David Johnson, but I'm telling you what, this is an impossibly good play by Carson Palmer. Watch him come out of this play fake, and Roman Harper's right in his face, and then improvisation by Carson Palmer, finding David Johnson running down the field against Craig Robertson. Nice play.
Yeah, by Johnson, yet an 11-year veteran in Harper chasing a 14-year veteran in Palmer, who got it away to the 25-year-old David Johnson, getting closer to that 100-yard scrimmage mark for this game. It's another quick pass that you've been talking about, and that's John Brown.
Give him room. He's just going to do it. You can't populate the box like this and not have somebody close to the line of scrimmage. Carson Palmer is no dummy. He's been around for a long time. He understands what you're trying to do to him, and he will take that 9-yard gain over turning around, handing the ball to his running back, and letting him hit his head on a wall.
After an 8-yard pickup. Flag flies. Johnson looking for somewhere to go. He does get the first down to the 13. Let's check the flag.
Offside, number 48, defense. That penalty's declined, result of the play, first down.
Well, David Johnson, he does such a good job making something out of nothing. This play is designed to go to the left, but look at the 2-footed jump cut back into a tiny little hole, picks up 2 or 3 yards, goes unnoticed on the stat sheet, really, that 3-yard carry, but what a big play to get that first down by 31.
So no need on the penalty because he picked up 5. Moves closer to a Cardinal milestone for total scrimmage yards. He's at 81 for this game. Carson Palmer knocked away as a flag down. Sterling Moore on the coverage. Akeem Velez, the target, the rookie tight end from Monmouth College.
Pass interference, number 24 defense. Automatic, first down.
Well, this is tough duty for Sterling Moore. He's only 5'10", and the tight end he's covering, Velez, 6'5". You'll just see it right through here, the play. And as this ball is delivered, he's got to try to go through the big guy to make a play, and he pulls on the back of his jersey to get to the other side of his shoulder, and that is a good call by that official.
Velez activated from the practice squad back in October. David Johnson on first and goal. The carry, David Johnson plowing into the end zone for a Cardinal touchdown. 16 touchdowns this year for Johnson.
Well, assuming we get a converted extra point here, what a nice drive by the Arizona Cardinals to tie this football game. Just methodical, doing all the right things. I like the way that they relied on the running game here. David Johnson bringing his influence to bear on this drive as a receiver and as a runner. And if Chandler Catanzaro can convert here.
He's missed 4 extra points this year. Remember, this is a 33-yard kick with Matt Weil as the holder, and they're just confirming the scoring play. The booth wants to review it, ruled a touchdown on the field, and want to make sure that that is accurate.
Well, if that's the picture they get, there's not enough anything in there to say that he did not score. But David Johnson showing that he has great power in his legs, and he got some good blocking up front.
A tireless worker.
Yeah, watch out. Watch your left guard, Mike Iupati right here.
Iupati,
I'm sorry. Just what he does to Craig Robertson right here. Clears the lane, and then David Johnson tumbles in for the touchdown.
Iupati, one of the few linemen on the Cardinal offensive line currently that's been to Pro Bowls. Remember, the former 49er. And Johnson, whether he's running or receiving or just acting as a decoy for Bruce Arians.
Well, he's done a little bit of everything today, Johnson has. You've seen him numerous times line up on the outside as a receiver, you know, giving Kerwin Williams some opportunities to run the football. I like the variety.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
2-yard run for David Johnson. 12 rushing touchdowns to go with 4 touchdown catches this season, and moving in on the franchise record of John David Crow. While the hold, Catanzaro, after Carson Palmer chatted with him before the half, trying to calm him down for the tie, and he nails it. 27 each, Cardinals and Saints.
Look at the relief on his face. That was a nicely struck ball, though. And as Jen Hale reported at half, you never know. He might be needed at some point in this game to win it with a field goal.
As the only players in franchise history with at least 12 rushing touchdowns in a season.
The 3rd annual Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award honors NFL players who exemplify outstanding sportsmanship on the field. And earlier this week, a panel of NFL legends selected these 8 finalists. The winner announced at the NFL Honors Award Show. It's the night before Super Bowl 51. That's February 4th. The Super Bowl you'll see on Fox from Houston, Texas. And Larry Fitzgerald, a winner of that award back in 2014, continues to spread goodwill among teammates and competitors.
Your numerous Christmas references have not gone unnoticed on me today, Chris.
All right, well, I love this time of the year. I got to tell you, everybody dresses up. People get presents. People seem in a better mood, except when you're traveling, but that's another story.
Let's not go there.
You want an exit row? If you can find one. All right, just get on the aisle. Catanzaro to kick off. And into the end zone. It will be downed right there. Well, you know, it's the time of year when not only the holiday season, veteran quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers and Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, do things for their teams. Carson Palmer, Drew Brees are doing that today.
Yeah, there is. And there's, I mean, really, if you're watching this football game, you're watching it for the love of football and hoping upon hope that maybe Santa brings you a playoff gift, that, you know, you're looking for a good football game. We've got a great football game. 27 points by each team here. I think I had it at 48. I think our producer director downstairs was the only one that thought this would be a high explosive game, and it's shown just that. Both quarterbacks playing well. Should be a fun last 18 minutes or so of this football game.
Brees comes out throwing wide open as Willie Snead quickly up to the 44-yard line. The pace of the Saints offense has been terrific all afternoon.
It really has been, and they're getting a ton of zone coverage from the Arizona Cardinals, and you'll see it. Watch Tyrann Mathieu and C.O. Moore here just drop this coverage. There's nobody there. Look how wide open he is. And this defense relies a lot on single man-to-man coverage, bringing pressure. Haven't seen much of it today. And I got to believe it's because there's so many receiving options on this Saints offense.
Brees over 250 passing yards to go with the 3 touchdowns. The rookie Michael Thomas in motion to the top of your screen. Tim Hightower carrying for New Orleans.
Well, you talked about the pace, Chris, and what's helped the pace of this offense today is the running game. I mean, they've turned around and handed the ball off now 22 times, and that's been uncharacteristic of them of late. And I like when they get in this type of balance because it opens up play action and pass. I've said it numerous times today. It keeps the chains where they're supposed to be, and I think you're seeing the results of effective offense.
Michael Thomas surging forward for the first down. That physical, that's the part you've talked about, that 6'3" frame of his, over 215 pounds.
Well, you see him stand next to him on the sideline. He looks skinny, but he has great physicality. If you're playing at the line of scrimmage, he's got great strong hands, good upper body. Watch what he does to Williams here. Pushes him off, that nice little touch at the top of his route to create some space, and then this always is an asset when you're fighting for those extra yards for the New Orleans Saints. Good football player. They stole one here in the second round of the draft to get him out of Ohio State.
And Williams working on him because of the Cooper injury. We've seen Patrick Peterson on Cooks. After a pickup of 12, Brees to the fullback John Kuhn, who gets down to the 37-yard line. Tyrann Mathieu knocking him down.
I guess that shoulder's okay with Tyrann. We haven't talked a lot about him You know, he had the knee injury that I thought was severely limiting him early in the football season. He didn't look like the same player. He was a little timid coming into tackles. I mean, obviously worried about re-injuring that knee and then the shoulder. But today he looks healthy. Maybe the weeks off have served him like they should and got him back to playing at 100%.
Brees catch Willie Snead. He's completed passes to 9 different receivers today. That's the 6th catch for Snead, which leads all receivers.
Well, Drew Brees always talks about rhythm. It's like ad nauseum when he talks about rhythm in the passing game. And the last couple of throws I've seen where he's hitting his back foot, ball's coming out, receivers are getting open, and that's what he is. That's why he's a 71% completion guy this season, because of that. They got a 3rd and short here. I expect turnaround, hand this ball off to Mark Ingram, get this first down.
All they need is a yard. He's going to throw. Pass is caught by Ingram down the sideline. Spotted all the way around the 15-yard line of the Cardinals.
Hand it off, throw it to him. Same thing, right?
Well, Brees will take the yardage.
He'll take the yardage. But what you get here is you get a nice little pick route by Brandon Cooks on the linebacker in coverage. You've seen it at least 3 times today, the design of this type of play. It's been different players, but Sean Payton has drawn up some really good plays on 3rd down for his offense.
Ingram's 2nd catch of the day to go with more than 60 yards rushing, so he's doing his best David Johnson version for the Saints, who are on the move at the end of 3 quarters in Arizona. Have you watching the NFL on Fox? David Johnson scoring his 29th career touchdown, and this is his 30th game. And we are tied, but the Saints trying to respond with a 1st and 10 at the 15 of New Orleans to open the 4th quarter. Brees for Kuhn, his fullback. And a few yards. Chandler Jones going over to make the play for Arizona. Brees came in along with Carson Palmer, each of them averaging more than 40 pass attempts a game. Brees has thrown 37 times today. Just a few yards shy of 300. They lost a couple on that play. Throwing an open short is Hightower, who goes out of bounds inside the 15. Well, Brandon Cooks, the Cardinals defense, has cooled him off just a bit after the first half he had.
Yeah, I haven't seen any targets to him so far in the second half, and 3rd down situation. You get down here, a lot of coaches like to bring pressure, 0 pressures, make the quarterback get the hand out, get the ball out of his hands quick, and come up and make a tackle. See what James Baxter decides to do to this offense right here.
A young Saints fan anticipating a blitz from the Cardinals. Instead, they only rush 2, and the pass is still complete. Cadet inside the 10, but short of the first down.
Well, again, Sean Payton's upset because they had the Arizona Cardinals kind of scrambling to get lined up, but the play wasn't snapped fast enough. But Arizona does a good job rallying to make a tackle here. Little pivot route on C.O. Moore. That's tough for a linebacker to deal with now. Luckily, he's got Chandler Jones in the flat there to come make a tackle for him.
Will Lutz, the rookie kicker, he's been good from 37 and 39 today. This will be a 25-yard field goal, and he gives the Saints the lead with a flag down. Somebody may have moved here on the Saints, or do we have an offside Arizona? Offside Arizona.
Oh, that's killer.
Yeah, that'll give him a first down.
That's first down. I actually thought this was a false start on the wing here, but the indication that we see on the field is that this is going to be an encroachment penalty, and this is just inexcusable.
Offside. Defense, number 28. He was lined up in the neutral zone. Half the distance to the goal. That yardage results in a first down.
That's on Justin Bethel.
Well, this is Justin Bethel right here in the line of scrimmage, and you saw the wingback kind of move there, but the initial call there was that he was in the neutral zone before that false start by the wing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a first down. It wasn't even the 5 yards, but half the distance enough to spot it at the 4-yard line. Both coaches frustrated, but now Sean Payton with 3 off the board, a chance to get 6 or 7 on 1st and goal. Extra lineman in, Landon Turner. Tim Hightower the football. Tim Hightower the touchdown against the team that drafted him. And the Saints have the lead in the 4th quarter.
Well, no need to get cute down here. You just turn around and hand it off to Tim Hightower. He is going to get another great block by his tight end. Watch John Phillips. He's going to come in motion. It's the guy in motion across the formation here, but watch the block that he gets inside here on Chandler Jones, and that's exactly where that ball runs off his butt in for the end zone for a touchdown, New Orleans.
On for the extra point is Will Lutz, who had the field goal, but then the penalty gave Sean Payton a chance. And Hightower punches it in. The 33-yard extra point is good. A 7-point Saints lead. Tim Hightower, a lot of big runs for the Cardinals over the years. This time he scores for the Saints in Arizona.
You and your family. Switch to Sprint today.
Hey, LaBelle. Yeah? Patty pie. Girl, that's $3.48.
Patty LaBelle sweet potato pie, only at Walmart. $3.48 on rollback. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Today's game is sponsored by the all-new 2017 Ford Super Duty. This is the next level.
Hightower got the touchdown, but Drew Brees, his 9th 300-yard game this season, adding on to his NFL record, 105 300-yard passing games, the most in the history of the NFL, and working things over on that Microsoft Surface as Lutz kicks off. And Britton Golden will down it to the 25-yard line. Mentioned David Johnson moments ago. There's a number of milestones he's chasing. Scrimmage yards in a season. You see how he stacks up with the great Otis Anderson. Anderson held that franchise scrimmage yards in a single season. His rookie year, 79, rushed for over 1,600, had over 300 receiving, and was the 1979 Rookie of the Year. David Johnson in his 2nd year from Northern Iowa, putting up impressive numbers this year as Kerwin Williams opens in the backfield. David Johnson, a receiver. Carson Palmer, and open is Britton Golden, who had his first career touchdown last week in Miami when he also played a little defensive back out of necessity.
Yeah, Britton Golden has done a lot for this football team here of late, and asking Larry Johnson about Britt and what he can do for this team. He says his confidence is soaring right now. And we did see him play safety last week. He's down in numbers, but he has an opportunity again, just like some of these other young receivers, to make a mark here late in the season now that Michael Floyd is no longer on his football team.
His first catch of today, a pickup of 19. Carson Palmer is over 200 yards passing. Open in the middle of the field. Darren Fells fighting and gets the first down inside the 45 of New Orleans. It's got a game break with Kurt Menefee.
Well, the matchup of the team that scores the most points per game against the one that allows the most is going about like you would expect. Devontae Freeman, 3 rushing touchdowns, 139 yards. Atlanta all over the Niners, 38-13 right now in the 4th quarter. Chris Ronde.
Thanks, Kurt, and that would eliminate, an Atlanta win would eliminate the Saints from any playoff hopes. The highest scoring team in the league, Atlanta, the Saints next in line. David Johnson is loose inside the 30. Man, he's got a Cardinal first. That was like a freight train. Shifting gears.
Yeah, this guy's good.
13-yard pickup.
I swear he does so many things. He gets a good block by his right guard right there, but it's the breaking the tackles, the jump cutting. The guy's never not in motion. His feet are always moving. He's impossible to get a square hit on, which is very hard to say against a guy that's that big.
And a new Cardinal record with the most scrimmage yards in a season as he's fighting to get more to the 25-yard line of the Saints.
Well, he came into this drive. He had only had 13 touches on the day, and I think was only about 17 yards away before this drive at getting his second, or his 14th,
he's over 100.
100 combined yards, and so he does get it. I mean, the guy is a special player, continues to show it week in and week out.
First 14 games to start the season of 100 yards or more from scrimmage, and he doesn't look tired. Moving past Edgerrin James, an all-time mark. Johnson with 11 carries. Also has 4 catches. Threading the needle of the tight end Gresham for a first down. He's coming off a big week. Season high number of catches against the Dolphins.
Well, not only can he run and catch, he can block. Watch him come across the formation here and give Carson Palmer just enough time to get rid of this football. It's a complete player. Every down back, first, second, third down, he can be out there. He is a special player, man.
On first down, Carson Palmer completes. J.J. Nelson turns the corner, gets near another first down.
J.J. Nelson has awesome acceleration, doesn't he? This ball is a little 4 or 5 yard completion. But once he gets this ball in his hands, we saw it on his reverse touchdown. And
our cameraman, tough.
Yeah, good job. Stay in there. Stay in the fight.
And look, and Darren Pierce in the festive mood. He wears that hat year-round, though. That's what people don't realize, and it's an issue, but we still put up with him. Great work there, Darren. Nelson's only 160 pounds, and he picked up 8 on that catch and carry. David Johnson, first down. David Johnson, touchdown!
Another great drive by the Arizona Cardinals here. Great balance again in the run game, in the pass game. I don't know that I have seen Carson Palmer look this good in a while. He's getting some good protection, but his runner is taking care of him right here. Watch the run to the left side here, and we talked about this change on the offensive line, but Larry Fitzgerald, number 11 in your screen, you know who he is. The block on Von Bell forces that play down inside, gives David Johnson just enough room to squeeze in there for the touchdown.
Yeah, now 17 touchdowns this season, tying John David Crow for the franchise Cardinals record. 2 today and the extra point. Cardinal fans holding their breath. It's a tie. And Catanzaro does just that, right on target. 34-34. Some fantasy-like numbers being thrown up here in Arizona. David Johnson adding to his fantasy season for Bruce Arians.
KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Taboo, January 10th, FX.
Teammates congratulating David Johnson, breaking 3 records on one drive.
That's tough to do. Good job, young man. Good job.
A milestone moment, and it's nice to have your teammates sharing it. And he's a very unselfish player for as much as he plays on the field every down. You pointed out his blocking to go along with the statistical numbers that he's put up. This will be a touchback, so Saints come out to the 25-yard line. Just under 9 minutes to go after an impressive drive. Carson Palmer set it up, and David Johnson finished it off.
How come?
It'll keep them warm.
The best place to get authentic NFL gear this holiday. NFLshop.com.
Today's game is sponsored by the new film Sing, in theaters this Wednesday.
Small screen, stadium-sized content. You can watch live local Sunday games right on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. Wherever you go, The NFL is with you to watch the team, the games you want. This is a good one, regardless of the standings. Pass complete, 2 veteran quarterbacks, and tied at 34.
It's a good one if you despise defense. And neither one of these defenses has showed up today.
It's a good one if you're a fantasy player.
There's probably some good fantasy numbers being made here in this game. A lot of good offensive production in this football game. But to the point I was making, the defense on either side of the ball, Arizona comes in number 1 yardage-wise. That hasn't shown up. The Saints have been playing better on defense. That hasn't shown up. There's been an offensive explosion today.
Patrick Peterson is on Brandon Cooks, who's been cooled in the second half as Ingram carries into a crowd. Yeah, we talked about the number 1 offense statistically, number 1 defense. And usually you figure defense wins out and you hear all of that, but the offenses have dominated today.
They really have. Drew Brees has been excellent delivering the football. He's only got 9 incompletions today. And we talked early in the game about the balance on offense, running and throwing the football. It's been there. Even though it's skewed 43-24 in play selection, they've done just enough of turning around and handing the ball off to make this a manageable game for Brees and company.
Brees' throw, and there's Cooks. Catch made on the sideline with Peterson covering, and a first down for the Saints.
Nice little play here. He's called this a speed out, and it's all about timing. And you got the best timing delivery quarterback out there. Hold on, they're getting ready to go to the line here. And
there's
try
a
to run
challenge,
this
I think. It was ruled a catch on the field. And here comes a challenge from Bruce Arians.
When we go back and look at it, we'll have to see if Brandon Cooks got that left foot down. I saw the right one when he had possession, but I'm not sure that he got that other one down.
Is challenging the ruling of the field of a catch. We'll review the play.
Ruled a catch on the field. Bruce Arians is 0 for 3 in challenges this year. We'll have a closer look at this one.
$49, only at Burger King.
Hey, Mickey, I need you to watch the kids. We had to flee the country.
It was close, ruled a catch challenge. Let's listen to our referee, Carl Jeffers.
The ruling on the field stands. Arizona will be charged with their first timeout.
Both coaches losing their challenges. What do you think, Rondé?
Well, there's a couple of pictures that I was looking up here, and you got to look at his left foot. I don't think it touched the ground right there, but it's very tough to see if it did. And I don't know that there's enough evidence to overturn. And as we've talked about numerous times this year, if it's close to play, the call, what they make on the field usually stands. Now, there's another thing when I was looking at this play, and it's really kind of indicative of what's going on Arizona's defense all day. Patrick Peterson wasn't even ready for the snap, so he's a little bit out of position.
Brees with time, and wide open is Brandon Cooks. Thomas gives him a block downfield, and he gets inside the 17-yard line. Plenty of protection for Drew Brees.
Well, Brandon Cooks right here, and again, a lot of zone coverage by Arizona. Look, nobody's there. I ask myself a lot of times when I'm watching film, how does a guy get that wide open? I don't know how Brandon Cooks, who is scorching this defense today, is that wide open.
A pickup of 36 yards, and that's a career best for Cooks in terms of receiving yards, 186. His career high in catches is 10, but he's got a couple of long touchdowns in this one. Mark Ingram. Brandon Cooks, with Michael Thomas back on the other side, has been able to find room to run, and Brees has been able to connect with him. A couple of long touchdown passes, and in clutch situations, Peterson has covered him more in the second half, but now they're finding Cooks.
Well, I talked about their explosive plays. More plays over 20 yards through there than any team in football, and against the #1 defense today, they are just exploiting them. Great performance by Cooks.
Blitz coming. Brees. Willie Snead, his 8th catch of the game, with a first down inside the 5. It'll be 1st and goal, Saints.
This guy does wonders in the slot for this football team, doesn't he? Every time we have a New Orleans Saints game, at some point, he's going to be a factor, and I love the way he stemmed that route. He moved into the defender, Patrick Peterson, with making him believe that he was going to go across the field, stemmed it up the field, breaking out, and then nice completion. And stemming, I mean not going straight. He moved in, then up, then out. It's a great route by Willie Snead.
Thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome, Chris Myers.
Mark Ingram in the backfield. Brees for a 4th touchdown pass today. And Michael Thomas has it. The Saints score.
What a catch. What a catch. A lot of credit to this throw, but Michael Thomas just climbs a ladder over Brandon Williams for this touchdown. He's special. He is really special. More and more I watch him, the more and more I'm impressed with them. Man-to-man coverage on the outside, one-on-one. My guy is better than your guy. Touchdown Saints.
His 8th touchdown of his rookie season, and I was going to say, coming back, Ronde, after missing last week, it was kind of a quiet number of catches, but he showed up big there. Looked like that San Diego touchdown that got the Saints their first win of the year, as they are waiting for confirmation on the scoring play.
Give us the thumb. Come on, that's a touchdown.
And it's a thumbs up. Saints have done well playing out west this year, winning in San Diego, winning out in San Francisco, and now leading in Arizona. Will Lutz sets the extra point, and a flag down.
Another encouragement penalty. I mean, these are little 5-yard penalties. Obviously, we saw the one that led to a touchdown, or an opportunity to go for a touchdown earlier, but a little quick trigger by Justin Bethel, I believe, who it was again.
Offside, number 28 defense. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The extra point is good.
He's right there in the line of scrimmage, and I mean, he's very good at this. He's awesome special teams player, but he is itching a little too much right now, and that's, I think, his 3rd one on the day.
A 75-yard drive, a quick response, and Michael Thomas talked about finger yoga, hand yoga, and he uses that to hang on to the football. And how about a bounce-back game for Brees? Over 370 yards, 4 touchdowns, has not thrown an interception, and his team is winning.
Oh, they're giving him clean looks is what's happening. You know, when they get in these short yardage situations, and that was down the goal line, he has man-to-man. It's easy for him to make that throw.
Now, the Saints, even though they can't win the division, if Atlanta holds on and wins, it eliminates them from the NFC South division title, but they would have a minuscule wild card opportunity depending on some of the other scenarios, so we don't want to rule that out. But the loser of this game, again, is officially eliminated from playoff contention. 2 games to go in the regular season after this. Lutz for Golden, who will down it. And out to the 25-yard line comes the Arizona offense with Carson Palmer leading the way. Well, I always like to look at these scenarios. You can mix and match. But the Giants' impressive winning. They were the only team to beat the Cowboys twice. What do you think of that Tampa Bay-Dallas game tonight in terms of the wild card picture?
Well, without being a homer, I think that Tampa Bay has a shot, man.
You could be a homer.
Okay, I think they have a shot. They're playing good on defense, and you have a good quarterback in Jameis Winston, one of the best receivers in Mike Evans. So, yeah, they got a chance. And Dallas has been down a little, so we'll see. Should be a good one.
Redskins play on Monday night, and Green Bay keeps winning to keep heat on the Lions, who lost today. Pass in the area of Nelson, and here comes a flag. And see Webb, B.W. Webb, hopping up and down like, what did I do?
Conference was the Paul debate. I think this is going to be they might consider picking this up, but the penalty I think was thrown for contact past 5 yards.
There's no foul on the play for any action on the receiver. 2nd down.
Having played the position, you have great insight.
I have great sympathy.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, a good no call, right? Let him play a little bit there.
That is a fantastic no call. Let him play.
And by the way, that Michael Thomas touchdown catch, his 8th, that sets the Saints rookie record The Dante Stallworth, Marcus Colston rookie record was 7 for receivers. That's what has the Saints out in front. Milestones being set all over the place. Palmer floating one and incomplete. J.J. Nelson.
Good coverage by Ken Crawley there. He's having to play the nickel back. Delvin Breaux, we talked earlier, is out, so B.W. Webb is playing the nickel inside and gives Crawley a chance to get some game reps. 3rd and long here for Arizona. I mean, 5 minutes. I mean, I guess they have time to punt, and try to get the football back, but they haven't stopped Drew Brees at all. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what decision Bruce Arians makes if they don't get a first down here.
Red exit, red exit, red exit. 76, red exit. Here we go.
Golden with a tough catch. Ball came out at the end of the play at the 30-yard line. Not sure who got to it first.
Well, this is going to be a takeaway for the Saints defense, and a lot of credit here.
Now, one official, I think he's just trying to move players away to sort out what happened.
Well, Britt Golden is on the ground because he took a shot, but it was a great play by Nick Fairley chasing down this screen to make this tackle.
Saints football.
Yeah, clearly a turnover. But watch 90 coming to your screen right here. Nick Fairley to make this tackle. He has the ball there, but when he gets hit, bam, ball comes out. That's a fumble.
And Ken Crawley recovered.
You always talk about these big D linemen, what they do at the line of scrimmage, but chasing screens down is their job too. And Nick Fairley, even though he's not going to get credit with the fumble, is the reason the Saints have the football back.
We'll check on the Britt Golden injury. He's helped to the sideline, but the Saints take over on the takeaway.
FBI! I need you to watch the kids tonight.
No, I'm a bad choice for that job.
Act like an aunt for one day and don't ruin them.
Sup, Chippy? Next time he gives you crap, yank his pants down and point at his tiny... Shake it, break it, make it bam. What happened to you? It was humongous. I'm lucky he didn't beat me with it. Well, clearly you didn't do it right.
She's a danger to these children.
The kids are fine.
Have some more ice cream.
Nick Fairley, who came over from the Rams, former first-round pick of the Lions, with the big fumble caused.
Well, just chasing the ball down, man. Just big guys aren't necessarily known to do this, but when you get a screen, slip screen like that, having the ability to recognize it, turn around, and chase the ball allows you to make a play. If he's not there, I think Britt Golden kind of splits that defense and is running, but he is the key to stopping that play. You get the hit, somebody else calls the fumble, turnover. Saints, they have the ball and are in control.
Bill Johnson, defensive line coach, appreciating the effort. Frustrating moment as Golden helped over on the Cardinals sideline. Most combined points in a game this year in the NFL is 81. That was the Falcons and Panthers. Right now we're at 75. See what the Saints do at the 29 of Arizona. Cardinal defense up against it here. As Brees sets to throw, pressure coming, and Willie Snead can't hold it. Brees had to get rid of it because of the rush from Tony Jefferson.
Yeah, he was getting a lot of pressure here, but man, Willie Snead is wide open right here. Again, confusion on the back end of the Arizona defense, and if Drew Brees makes a little bit better throw or has just maybe a second more time, that may have been a touchdown too.
He already has 4 touchdown passes in the game. Over 370 yards through the air for Brees. Tim Hightower for a couple of yards, scored the touchdown moments ago.
Important that Arizona gets a stop here. I mean, they have to allow a field goal opportunity. Try not to jump off sides in that case. But I believe that Sean Payton and this offense will try to be careful with the football here. They know they have this team right where they want them. I would be surprised if they turn around and hand this ball off and take the field goal attempt.
Saw Calais Campbell, who's been in on Brees a couple of times for sacks, and he had the fumble return for a touchdown in the first half. On 3rd down and 8. Blitz coming. Brees in trouble, and he goes down. Smothered at the 40. Kevin Minter led the way.
Well, and that's exactly why you don't drop back to pass here.
And there's a flag down as well.
Personal foul, roughing the quarterback.
Oh, boy.
Number 54, defense. Contact to the helmet of the quarterback. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Oh, boy, this is tough, man. This is tough. It's an all-out blitz. 54 is right here. 51's right behind the goalpost, running right unobstructed to the goalpost. And, I mean, he hit the head. Minter is the tackler, but it's C.O. Moore that hits the head of Drew Brees, and that's where that call came in. That's a tough one. I know he's protected from helmet-to-helmet contact. You'll see it right here, but he's just trying to get into this play, and I don't know that that's a foul, man. I do not agree with that.
Yeah, he did not lead with the head. That was clear. Michael Thomas, that is a touchdown moments ago. He's inside the 5 now.
That is such a big play in this football game for Arizona. They had a sack, put them well out of field goal range. They were going to get the ball back, and because of this judicious call here, head-to-head, helmet-to-helmet, and actually it looks like he may even hit his shoulder pad. And Bruce Arians has a very, very good point here, being upset. He's going to, I guarantee you, he's going to start his press conference with that play after this game is over.
Well, remember, an offside penalty on a field goal gave the Saints a first down, and they got a touchdown. This was a call that didn't look like the appropriate call, and that pass is almost intercepted. A lot of traffic around Kobe Fleener. There were 5 or 6 Cardinals.
That's got to be an interception. I mean, if you talk about a defense that is championship level, and these guys are #1 in the league, one of these guys got to come down with this football, whether it's Mike Minter or whether it's Tyrann Mathieu, intercept the football. Tips, overthrows are a DB secondary's best friend. One of y'all catch that. Wow.
Patrick Peterson realized the missed opportunity. We have a timeout by the Saints and Sean Payton. This is 3rd and 1. Just over 3.5 to play. From inside the 5-yard line, and that head shake on that call by the officiating crew indicates how frustrated they are. A record-setting day, a career day for Brandon Cooks. Drew Brees 4 touchdowns. David Johnson setting franchise records, scrimmage records. But the game on the line, a 7-point Saints lead with a chance to get more. After the timeout, here comes Brees. Now John Kuhn is a guy they could use if he comes in. Brandon Coleman, who's the angular receiver. Brees has kept on occasion. Mark Ingram the back. Mark Ingram the football. And he's got the first down, knocked out of bounds.
3rd and short all day today. Started on the very first drive of the game. This is what they're doing. They're just putting their heavy people in, putting John Kuhn out in front of the runner and running a toss. And this Arizona defense that's known for its speed and creating lateral pressure has not done its job today. Mark Ingram picks up another first down.
Over 70 yards rushing for Ingram on 15 carries today. A tired Campbell on 1st and goal Saints. They've piled up 475 yards of offense against the statistically top-ranked defense. Tim Hightower, touchdown Saints. His 2nd of the day.
Well, they came into this game, Chris, into the red zone, being the best or scoring the most touchdowns down here, and it just continues today. He gets a great block by the fullback Kuhn, and then watch the puller, number 73, Jari Evans, right here, going here, and then Kuhn. Watch these 2 blocks on these 2 guys, on your 2 linebackers, and that can't get any easier walking into the end zone for Tim Hightower.
Under 3.5 to play. It's now a 2 touchdown difference with the extra point from Will Lutz. And yes, 82 total points, the most combined points in an NFL game this year. And for some reason, Mark Ingram is upset.
Maybe because he didn't get the score. I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't have a touchdown today, even though he has run well. His average is up almost 5 yards a carry.
Well, he's upset. You see him. Nobody can console him here.
When you're winning the game, should you be, if that is the reason?
Well, I mean, a couple of weeks ago, Brandon Cooks with his issues
did not catch a pass.
Didn't catch a pass, wasn't targeted. He made him vocal. I mean, and Mark Ingram's upset. Yeah, somebody tell him he's winning. Sean Payton realizes it. What's going on in the back behind him here.
Sometimes your position coach or offensive coordinator can come over and calm the situation.
Well, you hate to be showing that on the sideline after a great scoring drive, a short scoring drive, but a scoring drive.
We're actually the ones showing it with our cameras,
yes.
But people can see it.
It's happening.
Britton Golden back out there on the 25-yard line. They'll take over on offense down now. 2 touchdowns. Jennifer?
Chris, an emotional Tim Hightower on the sideline right now. You mentioned his history with the Arizona Cardinals, how much he wanted this one. He actually gave the pregame speech for the Saints in the locker room before this matchup. He talked about perseverance, and goodness, he knows a lot about it after being out of the league for almost 3 years with that torn ACL and undiagnosed infection. It was a speech that really hit home with this Saints squad, and right now he is just living this moment up.
I don't know if it hit home with Mark Ingram, because Ingram probably said, I understand the return, get a touchdown, but Ingram probably thought he deserved a chance on that last carry in the end zone. In the meantime, pass completed to John Brown.
Well, that still is going to come down to, and it's going to be controversial,
That's a good
roughing the passer penalty on Drew Brees. But it's offense now. Situation down 2 scores. They got to get going. They got to move fast here, see if they can get back into this football game. I would imagine a score and an onside kick, and they have a chance.
It's good to see Mark Ingram and Hightower at least working with each other. On the sideline, Palmer, pressure coming, open down the sideline. He dropped it. J.J. Nelson would have had a touchdown.
Well, you wonder why this team that led the NFL in explosive plays last year doesn't anymore. It's this: catch the football. You can't be any more wide open. This throw cannot get any better. Well, that's just inexcusable. I mean, I'm a fan of football as anybody else. The ability to catch a ball wide open like that, you got to be able to do that. And Carson Palmer, he's been exasperated by this all year. You talk to Bruce Arians. Why haven't they been the team that they were last year? Number one thing he says out of his mouth every time: receivers do not catch the football.
Said those receivers needed to step up today. Palmer, and through the hands of David Johnson, who's been reliable, and that's incomplete. Yeah, they had that gone for a touchdown run. It's a whole different game, because then you're thinking you can kick and hold them with timeouts or the 2-minute warning.
Missed opportunities. I mean, this is a season of missed opportunities for the Arizona Cardinals, and it's frustrating as a fan of football. A team that was in the NFC Championship game last year got destroyed and thought that they would have a chip on their shoulder to come back, and now they're down 14 and probably out of the playoff conversation altogether.
Well, if they lose, they certainly will be mathematically eliminated.
False start, number 78, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
The Falcons did defeat the 49ers in Atlanta 41-13, leaders of the NFC South. The Buccaneers playing the Cowboys in Sunday Night Football. Yeah, the Cardinals haven't been the same since that championship game blowout up in Carolina. In fact, this year they've only won back-to-back games once. Their best stretch in October, when they had a chance after 2 wins, but tied Seattle in overtime.
Monday.
Palmer's throw to Fitzgerald. Puts a good move on to get something. Another 5 yards short of the 1st down.
Well, this guy's going to come to work. I know that. Larry Fitzgerald, whenever you need a play, he's going to be the guy. I would expect him, if I were Carson, I'd target him right now on 4th down.
He does, and Larry's got the first down. And it was Fitzgerald, whose contract takes him through next year, who said, you know, I wouldn't keep playing if I didn't think we had a chance to win.
Well, I think him and Carson and probably Bruce Arians' lives in football are tied together for the next year.
Fitzgerald again with room to run. And he's inside the 30 with a first down. Clock running, nearing the 2-minute mark, but a timeout by the Cardinals. They'll have one remaining.
Larry Fitzgerald just continues to do it, and he does so many things for this offense. We say it over and over and over again. He's moved to that Z receiver, so he has to block. And he saw it on David Johnson's touchdown run, the block he had on Von Bell that got him in. But as a receiver, he has been invaluable this year. Came in second in the league in catches. He's working on 7 of them today. I mean, he's just a consummate football pro. Gotta love this guy.
Most receptions ever for an NFL receiver through 200 games, and he's nearing another 100-yard catch season. And look at the names on that list. Anquan Bolden now with the Lions, a former Cardinal, playing in his 200th game today. But Larry interested in winning, and yes, tied to Carson Palmer and Bruce Arians beyond next year. Worth discussing. Palmer, open, catch, touchdown, Cardinals. It's John Brown.
Great throw, great catch. New Orleans is playing cover 2 right here, and I don't mean to be picking on the kid, but Von Bell has not had his best day at safety. B.W. Webb is expecting help. Watch him just sit down in the flat right here. He's going to sink, but he thinks that his safety is going to help him. He's way late, and that is a easy throw for Carson Palmer, and his receiver did him a favor and caught the football. Touchdown.
That's what they should do. Only the second touchdown, I was saying, in the first half for John Brown this season. He had 7 last year. And the extra point gets him within 7. And for Carson Palmer, he now ties Kurt Warner for the Cardinals' career record with 22 300-yard games. That's what you'd expect from a guy like Palmer and Brees.
We haven't talked much about Carson, but the day that he's having today has been really good.
And worth pointing out, since he spoke with Chandler Catanzaro, and our director Michael Frank had a good picture of that after his frustration, Catanzaro has not missed a kick. Well, and that's what a leader does.
Absolutely. And you can go back to Catanzaro having to work with a new holder. It could have been part of it. I mean, I was watching him hit some balls before the game, and the operation looked fine, but in real time when you're actually out there, I mean, it's definitely different. But I agree, Chris, these last 3 kicks have been spot on right down the middle.
A 75-yard drive, 1 timeout remaining for each team. Will have the 2-minute warning. Would you onside kick here if you're the Cardinals?
I would think that they are going to onside kick, and it looks like the way that Chandler Catanzaro is lining this ball up, he is. But at the end of the day, you have to put it on your defense to get the football back here. There's a supposed #1 defense in the league. They haven't shown it today, but they're going to get an opportunity right here.
Saints have their hands people up. The kick bounces. There's a shot at it, but it goes out of bounds.
Man, that was a good kick.
If it had stayed up in the air, there is a flag down because the ball went out. But if it had stayed up in the air, the Cardinals would have had a shot at it.
He hit it just a bit too hard, I think, and carried it out of bounds. You got to give your outside guys there a chance to make a play on the ball while it's still in bounds. But execution was almost there. But it's going to give great field position to New Orleans.
Kickoff out of bounds, kicking team. That foul's declined. The result of the play, first down.
They declined that penalty because they would either have to re-kick or take it on the 40, right?
Yes, and and you see the way that ball hung in the air. Michael Thomas was waiting on it, and he was wise, too, to not get his hands on it, knock it back inbounds, let it go out. So a noble effort on the onside kick, but the Saints in charge. 1 timeout for Arizona. We'll still have the 2-minute warning. Straight ahead, Mark Ingram playing with fire. And we've seen it on that sideline. The timeout will be used by Arizona right now. Now, Arizona scored, Rondé, on a 75-yard drive in just over a minute, and that was with the touchdown drop. So they have shown they can score quickly, but as you said, their defense has to keep the Saints from getting anything else on the scoreboard.
Well, yeah, first down here, ball game over. You're going to get a stop at the 2-minute warning. You're going to have an important third down if they get the ball here. But if you're the New Orleans Saints, ball security, protect the football. We know Mark Ingram had some fumbling issues earlier in the year. He's been very solid in that regard of late, last probably month of the season. Take care of the football here if you're the Saints. You come away with a victory.
Drew Brees, 5 fumbles this year, including one earlier, returned for a touchdown. It's Ingram again, who's met hard. Cardinals on third down, stopping him as we will go to the 2-minute warning. Arizona is out of timeouts, and it'll be an interesting 3rd and 4 for Drew Brees and Sean Payton, protecting a 7-point lead here in Arizona.
Plus, get this DeWalt 20-volt max cordless drill for only $99. Save big on everything you need to make your home happy right now at Lowe's.
Today's game is sponsored by Papa John's, the official pizza sponsor of the NFL.
Rondé Barber, Chris Myers here in Arizona, 89 total points, but an important third down where the Saints, if they get the first down, they ice the victory.
What do you do here, Coach? You hand it off, or you run some play action?
Well, without a timeout with Arizona, if you run the ball, you milk more of the clock.
Trying to get them to jump off sides.
They didn't fall for it, and the Saints used their last timeout. So you'll have a 3rd and 4, and then...
Yeah, good discipline by the... Watch the center. Max Unger, the head bob. Drew Brees will get a head bob in there, too. Trying to get them to jump off sides, but good discipline by the Cardinals defense.
What about Drew Brees? A contract extension that just takes him through next year. And he's talked to us about he plans to play well beyond that somewhere.
It's interesting, yeah. You talk about the other guys on the other sideline being intertwined. I think Drew Brees and Sean Payton might be intertwined on this Saints team.
But hoping to ice this one for New Orleans to get their 6th victory of the year in a wild scoring game. Throwing on 3rd and 4, and open, falling for the first down is Kobe Fleener. Gutsy.
We hadn't mentioned Kobe Fleener all day, and we knew it was going to be man-to-man defense. And Drew Brees found a matchup with Kobe on Fleener on Tony Jefferson. Nice delivery, and this ball game is all but over.
And Brees this week, after those back-to-back games without touchdowns, he said, I know how to fix the problem. I turn it loose. I play confident. I know what can't happen in certain situations. And by that, he meant throwing interceptions. Not afraid to throw for the first down. Even though Atlanta has won today, the Saints can't win the NFC South, but still some possibilities, minuscule as they are, for a wild card. And the Cardinals officially eliminated will fall to 5-8-1.
It was a good game, Chris. It was entertaining. We had some big plays, had a lot of offense. Defense on either side didn't really show up, but got to give New Orleans credit when it mattered. They forced that turnover of a fumble at the end of the game, got them up 2 scores, and that, to me, has been the difference, will be the difference in this football game.
4 touchdown passes for Drew Brees. Over 380 yards through the air. Record-setting day for David Johnson. Larry Fitzgerald came on strong late. But the Saints come to Arizona and outscore the Cardinals 48-41. Saints will take on Tampa Bay in New Orleans next week and then finish up at Atlanta. We'll have more from Arizona. You're watching the NFL on Fox. Donna, time for our Stat Insights, powered by Amazon Web Services. And look, after the last 2 games, the bounce-back performance of Drew Brees with 4 touchdown passes and a win for his Saints. Coming up tonight on Fox, except on the West Coast, Breakthrough Prize 16 and then Animation Domination. Next Saturday, an NFL on Fox Christmas Eve doubleheader. The Cardinals will be in Seattle. The Saints will be at home hosting the Bucs. For our producer, Mike Burks, Rondé Barber, and Jen Hale, I'm Chris Myers. Thanks a lot for watching the NFL on Fox, and have a great holiday week.